Hands drop down, high slot for Hodson. Hodson on the left wing now, low angle. Oh, he got it to Foe on the right wing, who couldn't complete the one-timer. A big chance for the Falcons there, and they don't even get a shot on goal. Still no shots yet in this match. McKinley keeps it inside the blue line. He's tripped up, and a penalty upcoming to Princeton. Steinman comes off, shot, and a score! Bowling Green scores. Steinman didn't even have a chance to get off the ice.
Big play in a big moment, and that's your worst nightmare that you have when you're going to be going on a delayed penalty and the opposing team scores right on it. But a big credit there, just seeing Jackson Niedermeyer pinch up. You're seeing him high on the line, then he just goes right in, finds the gap, and he's able to get right past Dan Moore. The first time a Falcon has done that this weekend.
Jackson Niedermeyer with his second goal of the season, tying his career high in orange and brown, and a very early goal for the Falcons, later than last night's first goal, but still on the board first is Bowling Green. A 1-0 lead with 16 minutes left to play in the first period. The defenseman for the Falcons being able to score early, Gustav Sternberg and Dalton Norris, known as not offensive threats, but being able to contribute to points. Braden Crampton, an over a point per game player in the CHL last season, and now you add Jackson Niedermeyer, who's a forward converted to defense for the Falcons, and he's been impressive offensively so far this year. Here's Brody Waters, right wing, loses it to Kai Greaves, who disks it to his partner, Ian Devlin. Now to Marciano as Greaves got off the ice in front of the Bowling Green bench, played back by Morneau. Korodiak got tossed from yesterday's game. 15 penalty minutes for Korodiak, didn't play after early in the second period and is able to play today. Was not suspended for today's match. Puck behind the goal line, played away by David Ma, backhanded out. Green couldn't hold on. Now behind the goal line for the Falcons. Looked to cross it in front, but Morneau was a little bit too tight down to the goal line. Quinn Emerson behind the goal, broke a 5-game point streak last night without a point, was Quinn Emerson. And now Princeton comes the other way with a 2-on-2. Malcolm Green down the right wing. The big body was going to get to the puck first, but it's waved off as an icing. And while the rule is there to avoid contact, they did avoid contact, but maybe made the wrong call there, Dan.
Well, part of that, is Malcolm Green. He has to be able to get to the line just ahead of time, and it's not to the line right on the goal. It's actually to go to the hash mark. He's trying to get there, not quite in time, and that's going to be an icing. But it did look like, from the looks of things, he was able to win it there. But we'll go to the opposite end of the Slater Family Ice Arena.
Breck McKinley with his 11th assist of the season, 2 games in a row with an assist for Breck McKinley in 10 out of 14 games this season. Breck McKinley has contributed to the score sheet. Impressive mark for the junior D-man for Bowling Green, who, when I mentioned offense, didn't mention him, but he's been a fantastic player for Bowling Green and a big breakout year for him. Princeton center ice. Brendan Gorman, the centerman, maybe the most consistent player on the team, flips it up. Played by Crampton, who's knocked down to the ice. In the offensive zone is Princeton. Bowling Green able to clear it out. And first back will be Rubin. Tyler Rubin has scored a point in 3 of 4 series this season. First multi-point game since February 2024 and the first weekend against Alaska. That was earlier on this season. 8 games played for Princeton. Losing a stick there is one of the Falcons, Brett Foe, way off sides by almost the full length between the blue line and the face-off circle, so we'll head back out to center ice.
Going to see that every now and again. It's just going to be inevitable, but the fortunate part now is you're going to get that line of Brody Waters, Ben Duran, and Tyler Hodson out there, and hopefully shake some things up as well as Dalton Norris.
Speaking of Ben Duran, pick the stick today for the Falcon Media Sports Network. 4 members. Choose a player before the game starts. Get 2 points for a goal, 1 point for an assist, and a goalie gets you 3 points. You lose them as the match progresses, as here's another whistle with under 14 left to play in the first period. Lucas Kleinmeyer chose Ben Duran today, as you see on the ice there, centerman on the second line, and also started today. Tyler Kavelitz chose Quinn Emerson. Emerson was on a huge point streak, 5 games for Quinner, didn't score last night, and Tyler's betting that he gets back on the board tonight. I chose Noah Morneau on the first line again with Quinn Emerson, as here's a shot in, deflected down and away from the goal of Daniel Moore, who's already allowed a goal. And, Dan, you want to defend your pick today?
Well, of course. I'm going to take Tyler Hodson. You got to rely on the point scorers. He's a guy that can take it to the net, been absolutely phenomenal. Going to change my pick from Ivan Korodiak.
Quick shot ends. Block made by Bowling Green. It's back out to the blue line. Gorman leaves it back for Greaves. Shot in, wide right. of the goaltender was that shot from the point by Kai Greaves. Devlin back to Greaves. Slap shot into Steinman, and Steiny makes the save.
First shot today for Princeton will just be a easy Glover going to get away for Jacob Steinman. Seeing him come in today. We saw Tyler Palmer yesterday, but shaking things a little bit up too. Dan Moore played a pretty decent game as he was brought in for relief and currently has a 0 save percentage, giving up a goal on 1 shot.
Yeah, not the greatest start for Daniel Moore, but he played solid in the back half of the game yesterday between Bowling Green and Princeton. Allowed only 1 goal. Callahan allowed 3 and just didn't really play too well. A couple of saves that head coach Ben Sires thought that he should have made. And here's a tripping penalty coming up to Jake Manfrey, and Manfrey will serve out 2 for tripping up Jackson Niedermeyer, it looked like. And Bowling Green will go on to an early power play with a 1-0 lead.
Manfrey going to get another one there. That'll be his 5th penalty in his 10th minute taken of the season. And it's also going to be the second-ish penalty from Princeton. One was earlier and it was delayed. That's where we got the Niedermeyer goal eventually, but now we're going to take it onto the opposite end of the Madhouse on Mercer.
And for the draw, Noah Morneau, present on literally every aspect of the game, including both penalty kill and power play, which have been very good points of the season for the Falcons. Special teams has just been great in the second season of head coach Dennis Williams. Steinman plays the puck behind his net. McKinley back there to retrieve on a forecheck by David Jacobs, the captain for Princeton, in his 4th season. Almost 60 points and 95 games played for David Jacobs this year. Bowling Green is yet to get the puck out of their own zone. Brendan Gorman with it, shorthanded, dumps it back down. Jacobs to chase, and Hodson will get there first. So 30 seconds wasted on the power play. Princeton's done a good job on the forecheck, but Bowling Green, an anemic-looking passing early. Here's a disc out to Ryman. They get it in the offensive zone. Now to the left wing, Morneau out to the blue line. McKinley plays it to the right wing, Hodson. Back out to the blue line at the point, McKinley, and now to Hodson on the right wing once more. Tyler Hodson, a big scorer for the Falcons, back-to-back 20-point seasons in his freshman and sophomore campaigns with RPI, where he transferred from after last season. Low angle shot in. Hodson put a slap at the puck. Ryman plays it down behind the goal line for Hodson. Moore standing tall in the net. It's iced down by Princeton. That'll help him, and that'll get the Tigers a change.
Really needed that, and they're going to be moving the other way. Breck McKinley all alone, and now he's going to get it to Dalton Norris. We saw that quite a bit earlier, especially McKinley being the lone man when the draw was originally started. So
the power play 2 unit out there for Bowling Green. It's dumped back down by Princeton just on entry. So Bowling Green will have to reset. They don't need a change of skaters. Minville, Duran, and Quinn Emerson out for Bowling Green. 3 players that generally do not play with each other. Minville kind of the odd man out. Here's Norris to Emerson. Now down to the right wing. Crampton, and he shoots his pass wide of Dalton Norris. We'll have to retrieve. 5 seconds left to play. Manfrey will come out of the box, and no score from Bowling Green on their first power play of the game today. Up to the left wing, Jaden Grant with the puck, scored a goal yesterday. His first time this season scoring a goal in a game and not scoring 2. As other 2 times scoring goals this season. Lake State, he had 2. Ferris State, he had 2, and those were the only 4 goals he had scored until yesterday. Esmond tried to gain a stride on Crampton as they were streaking toward the puck, but it's an icing against Princeton. Bowling Green will reset with 10:56 left to play in the first and a 1-score lead on the goal from Jackson Niedermeyer.
Battle for that, and we're going to see what can happen again. Looks like Niedermeyer and McKinley going to stay right back out. The last time it was just McKinley at the line, but also quite the assist man. He's got 4 straight games where he has notched an assist.
12 is Jackson Niedermeyer, 17 is Breck McKinley, changing his number from 27 after last season is McKinley. His shot in, deflected by Foe, but higher in the air and up into the netting. So we'll drop puck again next to Dan Moore and the Princeton side of the ice.
Looks like Foe's not too thrilled going into that one, trying to kind of shake things up a little bit with Marciano, but going to get a line change here and really need to get this momentum going, but going to have Wynot, Levis, and I believe Crampton looking like a bit just there, but then Niedermeyer and McKinley still going to stay on defense.
Brett Foe last season, 5 goals, 13 assists, and 18 total points on a player that didn't play every game for Bowling Green. Had a couple of games, especially toward the end of the season, where he was scratched. So much positive to come out of Foe and some negative as well. Tends to have games where he completely disappears, not just from the scoring sheet, Here's a try there for Princeton. It's wiped away by McKinley. Getting in real tight there was Joshua Carnish, the extra skating forward for the Tigers today. A full fourth line change for Princeton. They get Garzone, Gunty, and Young out of the lineup and put in Solier, Bidens, and Lata. All three of them did not play yesterday, and the extra skater as well, Carnish, did not see any ice time yesterday and was watching from the stands in his suit. Here's Morneau on the forecheck, two-man forecheck again for Bowling Green that, Dan, we saw quite a bit yesterday and was very effective against the Tigers and seeing some pretty good success here early.
Well, you got to have to start the heavy pressure, especially for the Falcons, because they really like to take their time on a breakout and starting behind the net.
Peltier, good pass to the left wing. Devlin crossed in front and a score! Peltier looked like he cleaned it up. Didn't know that he had it at first, but skates away with the goal. Luke Peltier, his third of the season, his sixth total point, and it's tied up at 1.
The costly, if you will, just being a screen right on Steinman, getting the defense right in his way. Looking with the CCHA replay here, just looks like Herodia kind of blocked his eyesight, unable to make that move, and it's going to be a easy goal for the second shot today from Princeton. Both teams with 2 shots on goal and a 1-1 game. Devlin
will most likely get the assist on that. It was a good pass to Devlin on the left wing, and he couldn't land the shot, but wrapped it around to Peltier in front, and a defensive man kind of missed his assignment as Steinman will play the puck behind his goal. So we're back up to even ice here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. First goal scored outside of the third period this weekend for Princeton and ties the game up at 1 with under 10 left to play in the first. Bounced off the half wall. Simonovic takes it behind Steinman. Poked away by Jacobs, who tries to move it out to the blue line. He does. Marciano. Zlinka takes David Ma out of the play. Manfred behind the goal. Took a penalty earlier. That was no harm. No power play goal for the Falcons. Quick shot in. Jacobs is knocked down to the ice. And we're going to get penalties assessed to both a Falcon and a Tiger, it looks like. Maybe Jacobs and Crampton. Both going to go off for 2. And they'll have to sit in there for an extra minute as we're to our first media timeout here in the first period. 9:03 left to play in the first. This timeout brought to you by Juniper Brewing Company, located at 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. A 1-1 tie here in the slate for the first time this weekend. You're listening to the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcast of Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hi, this is Lauren Hovey, and you are listening to BGSU Volleyball presented by Falcon Media Sports Network on 88.1 FM, WBGU. Now, let's get back to the action.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakovic, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Bowling Green trailing and shots on goal just by 1, and they're going to go into a 4-on-4 segment of play here as both Braden Crampton of Bowling Green and David Jacobs of Princeton are going to head off the ice, the senior captain for Princeton and the freshman defenseman for Bowling Green. How do you feel about 4-on-4 hockey, Dan? I feel like it spreads the game out a little bit more, maybe a bit more entertaining as well.
4-on-4 hockey is awesome, just energetic, not really many on icings. You're forced to make the play, you're forced to develop, and you can't really play the box either, especially since you don't have that extra guy to try to be able to break it apart as Bowling Green's going to start the breakout here.
There's McKinley, leaves it back for Niedermeyer. Those are the 2 defensemen on this 4-on-4 starting for the Falcons. Niedermeyer pokes it away. Esmond's going to be the first there, so the orange and black will grab the puck back in their own zone. Big forecheck for the Falcons, 3 men. Karodiak will come on. Niedermeyer will come off. Marciano down the left wing, the defenseman. Now to Gorman. Gorman's shot high of Steinman, who lets it fly into the half wall, and it caroms back down into Princeton territory. David Ma recovered. And they play it from behind their net. Ma, deep pass up to Manfree, won't land. Bowling Green turns it over. It's Tyler Hodson. Wrist shot saved by Moore. Looked like it went off his shoulder. It's out to neutral ice, played by Norris without a big forecheck. Here's Hodson. Turns it back toward the blue line. Hodson off to Norris. Now down a little bit deeper. Back up to the top. Niedermeyer forces it down tight. Norris behind the goal. See the defenseman having to get a little bit deeper on this 4-on-4. A big theme with the Falcons, who have very athletic defensemen and really like to get them toward the red line as much as they can. McKinley recovers the puck. Kai Daniels trying to make a move there, but a good defensive recovery by the Falcons. Here's Ben Duran down behind the goal again. He's pressed up. Still has the puck, though, at the slot. Wrong-handedness for him to get a shot off. Right wing, shot in, deflected away. Now up to the blue line. Brett Foes there. He carries it outside the blue line. 10 seconds left to play, and 4-on-4 before Crampton and Jacobs come out of the box. Crampton, a defenseman, so Bowling Green will skate up a D-man just for a second. Crampton can get on. Almost a turnover for the Falcons central ice. Coming right out of the box is Crampton over to the bench. And Jack Blake in at defense for Bowling Green in the corner. Can't hold the puck inside the blue line. Whistle blows, puck out of play, it looks like. And we're going to get a stoppage and a puck up in center ice.
Everything taken away there. Bowling Green going to need a line change after that. Foe just had it right on his stick, trying to get it going. Was on the left side as well, but just the opportunities kind of arising so far tonight. Just need to take better care of them, take better advantage. But here we go now, Jaden Grant to take the draw.
2 in-tight goals for the Falcons and the Tigers today. The first one by the Falcons, Jackson Niedermeyer, the defenseman in tight. And then the Tigers scored with Peltier, assisted by Ian Devlin on his wraparound pass. Here's Carnish. Wrist shot into Steinman, who can't wrangle it and hold on, but Jack Blake's there to carry the puck away. Blake does get the puck away. Manfree back down. Played around the goal. Norris catches the body, sweeps it away from Gorman. Menville takes a bump from Devlin in the left wing corner. Princeton trying to put together some offense. Pass a bit long for Blake. Backhanded out by Zlinka. Menville will poke it ahead and try and beat Devlin to the puck, but a tall order against a well-skating defenseman. Now up to the right wing comes the Tigers. Flipped high in the air with a 9-iron by Brendan Gorman. The center just seems to be everywhere at all times. Now on the left wing defensively is Emerson. Moves it up to Levis, center ice. Now why not? I'm sorry, that's Ryman, but it's offside anyway.
Ryman had a beautiful opportunity. Unfortunate turn of events. Levis tried to develop a play, and then a new one just happened. Princeton intercepted that one. Tried to re-begin the play. Was Ryman just caught it, just tad a bit offside there. Going to be interesting to see, though, if we can redevelop here, as we're going to get a bit of a change going. Going to have Simonovic and Crampton out on defense.
Levis in for the draw against Kai Daniels. And the wingers, all 4 of the wingers jumped. Now the puck is dropped and the faceoff one back for the Falcons, breaking the tie 7-7 in faceoffs won. Stark victory for Bowling Green in the faceoff circles yesterday. Here's Levis and a good move. Slap shot by Ryman, but it's chipped up in the air off of the stick of Jake Manfree. Back up to the blue line. Simonovic gathers center ice. Bank pass off the half wall to Ryman, who slaps it down for Emerson to chase. Emerson in against Devlin, into the corner. Connor Levis and Emerson trying to waste time, get a new set of Falcons on the ice. Puck still behind the goal line, over through the slot. Slap shot, Niedermeyer. Oh, just missed the rack wide. Just missed wide left. A left side shot by Jackson Niedermeyer, looking for his second goal of the game and his first 2-goal game in his career with the Falcons. McKinley plays it on the forehand. Out to Morneau, to Waters. Waters, Morneau, and why not out for the Falcons right now. Here's Waters into the corner, and he's mugged. Coming the other way is Anderson. Anderson moves it to center. Peltier just a bit long for him. Malcolm Green down behind the goal line. Takes a bump. 1-1 the score here. 4:40 left to play in the first period. Rubin crosses it into the slot, and Green can't settle it down. A high pass up to the 6'6 Malcolm Green. playing on the wing on the second line today. Fed out to Peltier and now out to the blue line. Rubin with the puck, fires it in just wide of the cage. Rattles around to Why Not to flip outside the blue line. Slapped back in, a touch by Malcolm Green, and it's going to be an offside against Princeton and will drop puck center.
Inadvertent in Bowling Green's favor, was not intended obviously to be an offside, but looking at it, just a barely bit over the line. A beautiful opportunity though to take advantage of it, and also too just a really close play right in front. A bit of a screen as well, just have to get in front of that and take care of it. Niedermeyer just a close one on defense trying to get Green out of the way.
Norris will recover the face-off victory for the Falcons. There in the corner, flipped out by Duran. Foe looked like he might have had a breakaway chance. Kai Greaves was a step ahead, and Foe kind of lost his edge for a second there as well. Back into the Bowling Green zone. Steinman will not be able to come out of the net. Soulier to play it for Princeton, back up to the blue line, and Bowling Green not able to force it out. Here's Soulier, good pass to the left side. Carnish with the shot, and it caroms down behind the goal. Soulier again, high slot. Carnish won't land to him. It's out to the blue line. Princeton still with the puck. Fed in tight again. Soulier, another shot, chipped away by Steinman with his stick. Now back to the left wing. Carnish still with the puck in the left wing corner. Bowling Green chips it out. Zlinko will go off for a change now as the puck down in the Princeton end. But Princeton's dominated possession here in the first period, Dan. 3:20 left to play in the first, and the Tigers still have the puck.
They really have been dominating the possession, but Bowling Green going to get a much-needed rush, and now they'll have it in the O-zone.
Menville, a shot over to the blue paint and to Dan Moore. And some pleasantries being exchanged in the right wing corner, but Moore able to cover up the puck and will face off in the O-zone for Bowling Green. 1-1 off of Jackson Niedermeyer's goal and Luke Peltier's goal. Peltier, a sophomore out of Courtenay, British Columbia. 5 points this season. His third goal today brings him up to 6 points this season. Has a point in 3 straight games coming into the weekend. 4 points during those 3 games. 4 shots on goal, although he did take 3 penalties during that time. And he broke his point streak those 3 games yesterday against the Falcons, and he's back on the board today. So now 4 for the last 5 is Luke Peltier. Out to center ice, a tip by the Falcons. Princeton with possession, flings it in. Steinman steps out of the crease to stop the puck behind his cage. Good outlet pass, Hodson. Minville's bumped away from the puck. David Ma flips it back in, and the White get there first. Here's Simonovic. Back around, held inside the blue line. Bowling Green, a bit of an outlet here. Here's Jaden Grant down the right wing. Had a goal yesterday, did Grant. Now Crampton back to Grant, into the middle. Oh, flipped over toward Moore. What a chance there for Bowling Green that just couldn't get a good shot on goal.
The situation there, Ben, and the real issue as to what Bowling Green happened, you just got to keep it short and you got to keep it simple. They kind of kept it short on their passes, been able to get more moving around a little bit. It just was not simple. You can do 1 pass, maybe even 2. The third pass is what killed it, just goes right off in front. Moore's able to pick it up. If you only have 2 passes there, you get a great shot on net. However, the Falcons not going to shoot that one.
Back out to the blue line, Niedermeyer. Down a bit deep. Shot in by Emerson. Caroms around to the blue line again. McKinley to play on the right wing blue line. Ryman takes his man into the boards and away from the puck. Emerson in the left wing corner. Pass across the shot slot by Princeton. McKinley, a shot down deep again. Off the half wall, off the back of the cage. Peeled away by Rubin. Out to the left wing now comes the alternate captain Anderson for Princeton. McKinley battling for possession of the puck in front of the Princeton bench. That's the rightmost bench on your radio dial here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. 1-1 with 1:50 left to play in the first period. Princeton takes their time behind the net. Brandon Wynot on the forecheck as well as Brody Waters, but letting Princeton set up camp, and now they'll take it up the side. Center ice, Soulier will tip the puck back into his own zone as it was 50-50 there in center. Soulier tips the puck on the Bowling Green side of the center line. It's going to be called for an icing, though, and They won't get a change, and he'll come back down to the other end.
Trying to go north to south on, going on and being on the left side, really trying to get things moving along. We see just a lot there. The difficulties that are going in Bowling Green, continuing their forecheck like they have all weekend, and we're going to see a little bit more of an issue as Ben Duran going to be taking the draw for Bowling Green.
Ben Duran on a 4-game point streak now is, and a shot and a score! Braden Crampton, it looked like might have had the shot. Brett Foe there with him, and right off the draw, Brett Foe able to get the goal and break the tie. It's 2-1 Bowling Green.
Big turn of events just happened right out of nowhere, and Ben, the most dangerous goals in hockey are going to happen when the goalie's screened, and they're going to be from the defense. Both of those things occurred right there. Tyler Rubin just getting a screen on Dan Moore against his own team. Crampton able to get the shot, and then you're able to see Foe able to tip it in. It's 2-1 Falcons with 1:25 left in the first period.
Foe with his second goal of the season. Ben Duran took the faceoff. More than likely is going to get an assist and extend his point streak, which I was talking about immediately before that goal was scored. He has now extended at 2-5 games in a row with a point for Ben Duran. Back into the Princeton end of the ice. They thought they were going to skate into the first intermission with a tie game. Instead, it's 1:10 left to the first and a 2-1 Bowling Green lead. Brett Foe gets his second of the season. Off the high glass and down for Devlin to chase. He wheels a lot of minutes. So does David Ma for this Princeton team. Probably 25 minutes apiece yesterday for those Tiger defensemen. Kai Greaves back defensively. Bank pass up to the right side. Esmond discs it out. Gorman with the puck. Flings it in toward the slot. Esmond couldn't settle it down on his tape. That's out to the blue line. Played by Ma. Ma in the right wing corner. Taken out of the play by a bump. Esmond gets a shot on it. Ma working in tight. Crosses it across the blue paint. No shot. Here's Gorman with a slap shot in. Steinman with a full splits to try and stop the puck, and he's able to do so with 25 seconds left to play in the first.
We'll see a little bit more, too. Duran and Foe getting into it just with Facinelli, but a bold move that we saw to begin that play. Biden's tried to make a bit of a move right on the line. Very dangerous to do. You don't normally want to make a move right on the blue line or try to pass it out to avoid an offside. Able to do it successfully, though, however, tried to get Bowling Green off of it, and a big turn of events, though, and a big credit also for the Bowling Green defense to be able to step in there and protect Steinman.
Top scoring line out for Princeton. They try and score in the last 25 seconds of this first period to try and knot it up before we head into the Rick Crow first intermission report. Here's Quinn Emerson to take it off the pile. Down the right wing, the quick skating Quinn Emerson down to the goal line. Behind the goal, he gets bumped into the boards. Into the right wing corner, under 10 left to play in the first. Princeton with the puck, trying to hold on to it and go into intermission with just a 1-goal deficit. Bowling Green happy to do so as well, and it's 2-1. Bowling Green lead heading into the Rick Crow first intermission report. The Falcons and the Tigers here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. We'll bring you back in just a few minutes. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM. Ben Wasney with the shot, and he fills it. Another shot, and he scores. Gustav Stjernberg, Brody Waters tips it in for the Bowling Green goal. Back over the middle to the inside. What a save from Cole Moore. McKinley with a slap shot. He fills it. Brooke McKinley from the point puts it in. Brody Waters hat trick. Jack Blake with the shootout winner.
I don't believe it. The champagne is flowing in Bowling Green.
You're listening to 88.1 WBGU, your home for Falcon Hockey. I am Gavin Gill for this game of Bowling Green versus Princeton, second game of this series. After a 4-1 win yesterday, BGSU taking home the win against Princeton. This first intermission is brought to you by Rick Crow, longtime BGSU hockey fan and listener of Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM. I'm going to give you a look around the CCHA right now for the scores and games going on. Lake Superior State is taking on Augustina. Lake Superior State is currently 1-0 in their first intermission. Minnesota State is taking on Northern Michigan. Minnesota State is up 2-1. St. Thomas is taking on Michigan Tech. That game has just started, and it is 0-0. And obviously, the fourth and final game in the CCHA happening today is Princeton versus Bowling Green with... Actually, that's my mistake. Bemidji State is taking on University of North Dakota later today. That is your CCHA current games happening right now. Once again, the standings for the CCHA is currently Bemidji State is on top with 23 points. Minnesota State is second with 21 points. Bowling Green is third with 19, and Michigan Tech is rounding out that top four with 16 points. You're listening to 88.1 WBGU, your home for Falcon hockey. I will be sending it back to Ben Korak and Dan Reinauer after these messages.
Many Americans have missed regular dental care in the past few years. It's important to see a dentist twice a year to identify any problems early. Taking care of your oral health helps overall health. Brushing at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste and flossing daily can help prevent oral health problems. For more information, visit hrsa.gov/oral-health.
Hi, I'm Christine Erdman with the BGSU women's soccer team. My Falcon 4 favorite Halloween movies are Halloween Town because I grew up with my sisters watching it, Charlie Brown Halloween because I watched it with my family growing up, Hocus Pocus just because it's enjoyable, and Halloween because it's scary.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. Be the someone who gives their time. Be the someone who lends an ear. Be the someone who takes a step. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN, asking you to join the fight against sexual violence and volunteer in your community. Log on to RAIN.org, that's RAINN.org, to learn how you can be the someone.
This message brought to you by the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network and this station.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel. You're listening to 88.1 WBGU, your home for Falcon hockey. Sending it out to Ben Korak and Dan Reinauer. How we doing out there, fellas?
Doing pretty well, Gavin. Thank you for doing our little segment there a bit ago. A 2-1 lead for Bowling Green. 3 goals scored in the first period, and 2 of them by the Falcons. Jackson Niedermeyer opened up scoring with his second of the season, assisted by Breck McKinley. Ian Peltier scored just a bit later, about 7 minutes later, scored his third goal of the season, assisted by Devlin. And then Brett Foe scored his goal right off the draw from Ben Duran, who gets his assist and 5 straight games with a point for Ben Duran. A lot of Falcon hockey players doing very well in the scoring department. Ben Duran, as of late, has really come alive scoring, but a very good offensive performance for both teams in that first period, Dan.
You were expecting to see it from Foe. You know, saw it. He had 5 goals last season out of his 18 points overall, and really we're looking forward to seeing some action out of him in a good way to take advantage of the goaltender and just get the screen and get the momentum going. But overall, it has been an offensive game. Bowling Green continuing the forecheck that we saw quite a little bit yesterday, but also Princeton improving in terms of, starting behind the net. They're still doing that, but they're a lot quicker with how they begin. They're not taking as long to try to get the play to develop. They're taking any chance that they can get.
a lot of goals on in-tight chances, although the Brett Foe goal was pretty deep and honestly something that the goaltender for Princeton, Dan Moore, probably should have saved by rights. Dan, it was a deep shot from about the blue line, maybe in a defensive position, but not too many screens in front, and really something that you could just see the puck travel toward that corner. Maybe something that he should have saved, but an interesting goaltender situation for Princeton to have Connor Callahan that really struggled yesterday. He didn't get the net again today, and because of the injury to your junior goaltender Arthur Smith, you have two freshmen that you had to choose from. It was Moore today, who also played yesterday, but a really tight goaltender room, and not in a good way for the Tigers.
Callahan had a rough go at it yesterday. You're not going to have not every weekend's going to go to your favor. Unfortunately for him, we saw that, and like you said, Arthur Smith being out with a current injury, dealing with that regard, and then Bowling Green as well, changing things up with the goaltending. Saw Tyler Palmer yesterday. We're seeing Jacob Steinman, so getting some rest on that regard. And also, too, Adam Zlinka is in the lineup tonight. He did not play at all, or really dress for that matter, yesterday, so good to see him. And if we're taking it back 2 overall to the Foe goal, we saw that, and it was really interesting. Tyler Rubin was the defender in front of Moore for that one, and he has 10 blocked shots so far this season, so normally known for that, just wasn't quite able to get a hold of it on the second goal for the Falcons.
You mentioned Adam Zlinka in the lineup today. 2 injuries and 2 pretty relatively major ones going on for the Falcons. The most major, Gustav Stjernberg, out of his defensive position. In comes Richard Simonovic to play in full. He's been kind of in and out in the lineup this season, but he plays in full today and yesterday because of Stjernberg's injury. Also injured from yesterday to today, Max Martin had limited shifts at the end of yesterday's game. Did play, did also get 2 assists yesterday, but he also sustained an injury and is out of the lineup today, and that's why Adam Zlinka finds his way into the lineup. Zlinka and Martin as well just seem to be 2 guys that have pretty consistent shifts all the time. Not too much great going on, but very good stuff happens when Zlinka and Martin are out there on the ice. Some early things happening with Zlinka today, and that third line especially is one I want to highlight, Dan. Jaden Grant, Jeremy Minville, and Adam Zlinka that just mix up their guys around a bunch of different lines and can kind of do it all for the Falcons on that third line.
Absolutely. Jaden Grant is a huge cornerstone of this Bowling Green team. I mean, you look at him, he's played in every single game for the Falcons since 2022, so you can count on him. He's reliable. He's going to go out there and give it his all. And then also, too, seeing Max Martin, a bit of a loss on the injury. I mean, being a NAHL MVP forward of the year, seeing him. But also, you can't overlook Adam Zlinka. Able to get his first collegiate goal earlier this season. We saw that going along in Mankato. But also, too, he's got a +6 moving along for him this season, meaning he's able to be out there. He may or may not get on the score or assist sheet, but he's going to be there to help let the play develop, let the play come to the Falcons, and hopefully find the back of the net.
Adam Zlinka, one of only 2 players in today's game that's been drafted by an NHL team. Zlinka drafted in the 7th round of the 2022 draft to, at the time, the Arizona Coyotes. Now is the Utah Mammoth. 204th overall was Adam Zlinka, and the other one is also for the Falcons. Connor Levis was drafted in the 7th round by Winnipeg in the 2023 draft. That's 210th overall. In back-to-back drafts, the Falcons had a draftee between 204 and 210, the only draftees on the board today. You look forward into the second period. That was the highest scoring yesterday, all for the Falcons. 3 goals scored in the second period that Bowling Green has historically struggled in, and especially this season, but across the last couple of years of Bowling Green hockey. What do you want to see for the Falcons coming into the second period, and what do you want to see Princeton doing to get them back on the board and maybe take a lead as well?
I want to see the orange and brown click again like they did in the second period. Coach Williams talking about it yesterday in this press conference after the game. It just seemed to work. He talked about it a lot. He gave a big credit to the second period, and that was, he said, the best period that they've had all season. So you obviously are going to want to try to continue that momentum. Not quite the rush that you got earlier from yesterday we saw in the first period, but we can still see this momentum continue onward in the second. You know what to do. You've seen this team quite a bit, and hopefully Princeton's going to be burned out if you want them to be, and try to get some more momentum on them, and then we'll see it if they can continue on in the third period. As for Princeton, I'm going to say just overall, you got to keep it going. You got to have less mistakes than you've seen. You got to have less screens in front, and you're getting the momentum going on the breakout. You're starting that again, and you've improved on it tremendously just over a short span, but that's because Bowling Green's forcing you on the forecheck. You're required to adapt, and that's what Division I hockey teams too. They have to adapt on short notice, so they're still kind of starting the breakout the same way behind the net, but they're doing it that much quicker. So if I'm going to say for Princeton, just get the breakout that much quicker and start the chances and find them when you can.
The middle frame upcoming between Bowling Green and Princeton here at the home of Bowling Green Hockey, the Slater Family Ice Arena. You're listening to Falcon Hockey here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On September 30th, 2025, BGSU men's soccer forward Bennett Painter ended his multiple-match scoring drought with a goal against Northern Kentucky, helping the Falcons defeat the Norse 2-0 to end a two-match losing streak at Cochran Stadium. Falcon Media Sports Network's Lucas Kleinmeyer had the call on WBGU PBS YouTube channel.
Hernandez, Terry gets it back to Hernandez, gets it through to Bennett Painter, takes a curling shot, it's in! Oh, what a goal and what a strike from Bennett Painter! Another masterpiece at Cochran Stadium, painted perfectly on the canvas. It's 2-0 Bowling Green.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Hi, this is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Every 2 minutes, another American is sexually assaulted. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, you are not alone. Help is just a call or click away through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Please call 1-800-656-HOPE, that's HOPE, or visit rain.org, that's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAIN and this station.
I'm Brock Horn. I'm a middle linebacker, 6-year senior, and these are my Falcon 4 people I go to after a game. So first, definitely would be my girlfriend, would be the first person I'd text. The second would be my parents, if they weren't at the game, which they probably were. Third would be my group chat with like my buddies from BG that have come and gone, so like Darren Andrews, Brent Spees, James Miller, all guys who played here. And then my fourth would be my group chat with all the boys back home. So go Falcons.
The Zig Zone, Falcon Media Sports Network's weekly radio show dedicated to BGSU athletics, has a new segment. Make sure to tune into the show every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. to listen to the one-on-one segment, where Holden Ruck will interview a key figure in BGSU athletics.
On February 21st, 2025, BGSU men's basketball upset Toledo at Savage Arena for the first time since 2021, defeating the Rockets 69-68. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz had the call of the game-winning moment on Falcon Radio.
Johnson inbounds to Campbell. They do not foul. Bowling Green marches into Savage Arena, exacts revenge on the Toledo Rockets, and gets a much-needed conference victory over their arch-rivals, defeating Toledo 69-68. What an improbable win for the Bowling Green Falcons.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
My daughter's Aspen. She has stage 4 neuroblastoma. St. Jude is like, it saved us. The financial help given here goes a long way. The research helps, not just here, it reaches the whole world. And St. Jude is a gift. I just want to say thank you.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Check out recaps of this and every BGSU hockey match online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, myself, Ben Korak, along with Dan Ridenauer from the Falcon Media Sports Network. You just heard the Rick Crow First Intermission Report, a longtime BGSU hockey fan, listener of WBGU 88.1 FM's hockey coverage, and the sponsor of our travel here in the 2025-2026 campaign. We'll be at every game here or on the road. Upcoming road games include Ohio State in a home-and-home series. We'll be down in Columbus for that after the turn of the new year in January, I believe 2nd and 3rd or 3rd and 4th, something like that this season. After that, a road trip at Ferris State and a couple of more as the season progresses. We'll be there for them all. 2-1, the Falcons lead over Princeton here in their second non-conference matchup of the season, and a pretty good first period. Dan, 2 goals for the Falcons, 1 for Princeton. Maybe the most exciting as a full game that we've had so far this weekend. That just wasn't a lopsided effort by Bowling Green.
Crazy to think about. There was only 13 shots in that period between both teams, and 3 goals will come out of it. So definitely interesting, heavy goal-scoring hockey as Bowling Green's going to get into the offensive zone.
Princeton leads in shots on goal, 7-6. Odd that we would say that, considering they were beaten heavily in that regard yesterday, as Bowling Green did to Princeton in shots, face-offs, goals, assists, almost every category statistically. And as well as just watching the game, you'd know that Bowling Green dominated yesterday's match against the Tigers. Here's an offensive chance for Princeton, a good rip by Esmond, and it will be deflected away from Steinman in the goal for Bowling Green. Now on the right side of your radio dial, Esmond another shot in, wide left of the goal. Karam's into the corner, played by Kai Daniels. Daniels looks to wrap it around the left side of the goal, but he's bumped away from the puck, gets it out to the blue line. Shot in, off of the body of a Falcon and away. Cisan takes steps in toward the corner. Second period, the first time we've mentioned his name so far today. Manfred plays the puck at the blue line, playing defense for Cisan, who went in a bit deep. Now Princeton looks to put together some offense. Offside is the call against the Tigers as Manfred got a little bit too excited with the puck, and David Jacobs is caught off.
Manfred and Jacobs just there, and I mean, for an All-American scholar like David Jacobs, just not a smart move to be on the left side, a little bit off there, but we'll take it away just going again. But, you know, the Hodson line going for Bowling Green, going to be a big opportunity to see what can come through it.
Ben Duran in center for the Falcons. The choice of Lucas Kleinmeyer in our Falcon Media Sports Network pick the stick. That's 1 point for Lucas, considering that Ben Duran has an assist today. The rest of our selections, Quinn Emerson, Tyler Hodson, and Noah Morneau, do not have any points yet, but make sure to stay tuned for the rest of the game and you'll figure out who gets points. Crossing pass into the slot by Hodson, a very nice look, but no white jerseys there, and Hodson puts a check on his own guy, Ben Duran, it looked like. Here's David Jacobs through center, discs it out to Jake Manfred. Manfred wraps it over to the inside, makes a good move. Steinman, here's a chance, and it's stifled by the Falcons. Jacobs got in a bit tight there to Steinman, a little bit too close for comfort to the Falcon freshman goaltender. Crossover into the slot, the stick was up in the air. Jacobs got caught and tied up and couldn't get a good shot on goal. Here's Kai Daniels down the left wing, recovered by Niedermeyer. He crossed it in to Duran. Duran knocks it back down to the goal line, played by Niedermeyer. It's back out in front of Steinman, and it caroms away. Here's Kai Greaves, right wing point. He fires it in to the chest of Steinman, but it somehow squeaks out. Low angle shot, another stop by Steinman. This one's fired around the rack, back out to the blue line, held in by Princeton again. A big offensive drives for the Tigers that have stifled the Falcons so far early. Bowling Green can't seem to clear. Out to the blue line, Devlin a shot, deflected down and around the cage. Stretching is Steinman. Puck is flipped up to center. Zlinka to carry it way out and let the Falcons get a long change. Deep pass out for Peltier, who was going to have a huge breakaway had that pass landed. He's down into the right wing corner. Latta plays it out to David Ma, who backtracks to Marciano. To center. Anderson with the puck. Kevin Anderson down the right wing to the left wing. Won't land. Latta with the puck again. Down at the goal line. Defended by McKinley. Takes him out of the play. Manfred to the left side. Marciano passes it into the slot. Here's David Ma, the left-handed shooter. Crosses it in, and Marciano takes his man down to the ice, Zlinka, but doesn't get a shot on goal as Zlinka tied him up. Puck still behind the goal line. Peltier with it. Gets it to the left wing. Ma, the left-handed shot again. Now back up to the blue line. Marciano with the shot in. Deflected away and into the left wing corner. Bowling Green still not able to clear the puck and get some offense. And we're almost 4 minutes expired here into the second period. Princeton almost looking like they're on a power play. The puck is pinned up behind the goal line to the right of Jacob Steinman. And Dan Moore is just looking on all 10 skaters on the ice and then just doing their work in the Bowling Green end. Now puck is worked free. Back up to Marciano on the left wing. Dumped down to Jaden Grant. Dalton Norris back there as well. Beneficial for Princeton that they have the short change now. Touched by Minville. A check coming from Lata. The play will be whistled dead. We'll have a face-off in center. And finally, Bowling Green will get fresh legs and the puck outside of their own zone.
Bit of a stalemate too, Ben, just seeing that in the corner, standing around, not much happening, but an interesting too, just seeing, Marciano and the rest of the Princeton defense, they were pinching heavily. Normally are kind of going to be around the Johnson Associates sign, going all the way down to the end of the Greenbrier sign, trying to get in there and trying to get a momentum going on the heavy pinch, but we'll be back to center ice.
Brennan Gorman for the faceoff. Bowling Green wins it back. They've done so well this season, one of the nation's leaders in faceoff percentage. Here's a pass to Gorman, who was streaking into the slot, and it's off the stick of Simonovic and away. Now onto the right wing side. Princeton back into the offensive zone. Crampton digging away with the puck. The extra skater in there trying to work the puck free for the Falcons, not able to do so. Simonovic pins it back up. And the right wing corner. Princeton in the offensive zone, or the offensive side, has the short change now. And it's back up to the blue line. Played by Rubin to the left wing. Back down behind the goal for Gorman. He gets a tip on it. Cison down in the right wing corner. Why not? Puts a bump on him. Crampton spins him out of the play. Simonovic crouches down on the puck away from Esmond. Esmond still carrying the puck with him. Now into the left wing corner. Brett Foe backhands it away. Rubin able to hold it in. Almost turns it over to Crampton, who's not able to get it on his tape. Here's Esmond behind the goal line again. Disks it in front of Steinman. Bowling Green tips it away into the corner. Still in the offensive zone is Princeton. They're able to get a change now as the puck pins up. Bowling Green works it away. Looking to put together a drive. Here's a lead pass up. Brett Foe in the offensive zone. Down in the left wing corner. Morneau trying to turn this into some offense for Bowling Green. David Jacobs clears it outside cleanly to Kai Daniels. Kai Daniels through center. The goal leader for Princeton. A shot off of McKinley. Working in tight. Granner gets the puck away. Ryman in the corner. Now it's back up to the blue line. Marciano puts a hit on Ryman. Bumps him away from the puck. A good defensive play by Marciano because Ryman was breaking away heavy. It's Dom Ryman again. Puck up to center. Emerson's bumped away from it by David Ma. Marciano to the left side. David Jacobs out to center. A slow pass. Anderson gets there first. Holds it inside the blue line. Shot in. Steinman gloves it. Will get his guys a change, but a face-off again in the Princeton side of the ice.
Big shot for Kevin Anderson, too, just going right on the far side. Was really angled, but is still able to get it on the net. And also just looking along, too, Bowling Green was really getting the opportunities up and away, looking for that one. But just seeing Quinn Emerson going all the way from cross ice, trying to get a play in that. And really on the forecheck heavy, we're seeing an improvement of that in Bowling Green.
Not the Princeton side of the ice, but the Princeton O-zone where they still stand. They win the draw back. Quick shot by Malcolm Green. We've mentioned so much how big of a body he is, but a very skilled forward for this Tiger team, who's 5-3 now after the loss to Bowling Green 4-1 yesterday here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. Puck into the right wing corner, dug out. The Falcons with it. Niedermeyer off the half wall. Waters tips it forward. Bowling Green trying to do the same up to Hodson. Waters carries it down the right wing. He's got Hodson in center, but he's tied up and away from the puck. Here's Hodson behind the goal line. Marciano and Devlin in there. Gets the puck away. Lead pass up. It's going to be an icing against Princeton. And it'll come back down to the O-zone, and a must-win faceoff for Bowling Green, who's being outshot quite handily now by the Tigers.
Well, that and also David Ma, the Shattuck St. Mary's man, just getting a bit of a scruffle at it with Brody Waters trying to get it in that there. A bit of a tie-up with his stick, and happened ironically. We're going to drop the puck right where that occurred, but now Jaden Grant going to be taking the draw for the Orange and Brown.
Peltier and Grant. Grant won it. Ivan Korodiak with the shot off the stick of Green. He lost sight of the puck. It's now into the right wing corner. Zlinko misses the puck as he tries to peel it out toward the Bowling Green blue line. Here's Jaden Grant in the offensive zone. Back behind. He's kind of tripped up. Minville gloves and drops the puck. The freshman in the left wing corner. McKinley dropped too far in and not able to guard the blue line as the junior defenseman. So it's back down into the Falcon end. They'll have to reset. McKinley with a couple of rare mistakes this weekend on the blue line. Almost makes a passing mistake there. Turning it over center ice, but getting the puck back. That was Gorman that got his stick on it. Outlet pass to the left side. It's played forward by Carson Bidens. Bidens the center. Crossed over into the middle. Cison with a good chance there. The defenseman right in front of the blue paint. Looking for the second defensive goal of the game by both of these sides. Flipped over from behind the goal line and in. Princeton with a possibly lucky break there. Steinman never even saw the puck as it was such a low angle. And it's going to be the first goal and point of the season for Seamus Lata, the freshman out of Bozeman, Montana.
Second goal this weekend that we've seen, just right on the line. And ironically, the tip that we saw earlier, right on Steinman, goes wide left. We thought that one would go in. And this one just out of nowhere, going to tie it up here for the Princeton Tigers. That'll be their 13th shot on goal in the second one. Bowling Green only 6 shots on goal, as they'll have 2.
That was almost inevitable with the amount of chances Bowling Green was giving up. Lata shot it off of the nameplate of Steinman, who did see the puck, but thought it had caromed away from the play and not into his own net. Lata gets a lucky break for his first career point and goal. The freshman playing on the fourth line today, a new inclusion in the lineup from Ben Sire, the head coach of Princeton hockey. And now Bowling Green with some work to do. This has been a pretty poor start to their second period as there's 11:30 left to play in the second. And this following a game which was maybe the best period of hockey played this season, the second period of yesterday's game against Princeton. Here's Facinelli. He's bumped at the point. Marciano with the puck, shot up into Niedermeyer and into the netting.
Also going to hit just right off the low ceiling here on the Madhouse on Mercer. And Bowling Green, though, looking to get a line change here and really need to get that. And Steinman just going to need to try to recollect himself. Just a bit of a mishap, going to be unfortunate for Bowling Green. But now you got Ben Duran's line out there, so hopefully going to the rescue, Bowling Green to get another goal.
Head coach Dennis Williams most certainly not happy with the first 9 minutes of play. We're at about the 11-minute left to play mark in the second period. Lead up to Waters, who's spun out. Hodson down the right wing. Waters to take the puck away. He does so into the left wing corner. Being bullied by Marciano. Here's Duran with a shot in tight. Hodson tries to feed it over to Moore, and Moore able to shut it off. Now Hottie back on the left wing boards, gets it away. Slap shot over the head of Moore in the goal for Princeton. Jack Blake, defenseman on the ice for Bowling Green. Here's Waters in tight. He's pushed away by Marciano. Manfrey, the outlet pass to David Jacobs. The captain back to Manfrey, who leaves it on the offensive blue line. Now Bowling Green the other way. Hodson through center. He's chopped down to the ice. And now a lead pass up. Manfrey leaves it back for David Jacobs. The captain with the shot into the chest of Steinman. And he's able to hold on. 10:25 left to play in the second. Still some offensive opportunity for Princeton.
The Princeton breakout, though, Ben, has been phenomenal today compared to yesterday. Huge improvement, but what I'm kind of seeing and a little bit concerned about that I saw Hodson going to just throw a backhand on Moore. He had McKinley wide open on the line. I don't understand why he just doesn't try to take that one back, let the play develop more with the defense.
And for the draw, Jaden Grant for Bowling Green. The Falcons were leading sizably in faceoffs and still are, but it's narrowed up a bit. Princeton just played an all-around better period this period. Rubin a shot in. It's deflected up into the chest of Steinman. Luckily, he had a good view of that puck. That was Kevin Anderson, the senior Saskatchewan native, that was able to deflect that up on kind of a ice gliding shot there from the point by Tyler Rubin. Puck dropped. Bowling Green wins the draw. Brett Foe backhands it up and deep. Racing after the puck is Brandon Wynot. A pretty fast skater and an underrated athlete on this Bowling Green team that's had a lot of gameplay the last few matches for Bowling Green. But it's an icing against Bowling Green, so it'll come back down into their end.
Wynot not too thrilled with Rubin there. We saw a little bit of a tie-up between the two of them to end things going along. But being beyond that, you got to look at it. Bowling Green's forced down into defensive territory again. While their strength has been defense, that defense is strong in the offensive zone. So going to have to see another breakout here for the Falcons.
Puck up high in the air, dropped down by Korodiak. He slaps at the puck with Latta there. who just scored the goal a second ago. Back behind the goal line is Carnish. Played away. Bowling Green turns it back to each other. Here's Why Not out to Brett Foe. Foe has it poke checked away. Carnish won't get a stick on it. And now Why Not flips it back down. Brett Foe to chase. Puts a hit on Devlin just a bit. Up to the blue line. Carnish still in for the puck. That's away to Bowling Green. Brett Foe there, but carries it outside his blue line. Lead pass up to Noah Morneau. He's been pretty quiet this series so far. Didn't get a point yesterday, and he's kind of played himself to a point where you expect at least a point a series from him, considering he's had the first rookie hat trick here in this building against Ferris State in their first game against the Bulldogs. First one since 2012. It's the last time a Falcon rookie had a hat trick. Brendan Gorman working in, chipped it over the head of Steinman. What a disgusting goal by Brendan Gorman, the senior and alternate captain.
Gorman going to have a lot to smile about on that one, in a big play to, not only shake things up, but get Simonovic just right on a poor angle, found Steinman just on the top right corner. And, Gorman definitely going to want to take advantage of that, and he sure will. That number 16 there, just looking at him, the 6-foot senior, just really needed that. And, being a guy who was first team All-Ivy, you're going to expect some big moves from that guy there.
10:50, the time of the goal here in the second period, and now a 3-2 lead for Princeton, who have come out huge in the middle frame. There's Ben Duran into the offensive zone. Marciano pins him up. A couple of Falcons in there to work the puck free. Hodson takes his man out of the play. It's held inside the blue line by the Falcons. And at the left wing, Devlin. He's knocked down to the ice with a hit to his back. Here's Hodson with David Ma. Hodson in the corner again, out to the blue line with separation. Some white in front of Dalton Norris. He's got it on the blue line. Left wing, shot in, deflected down and away. Marciano got the majority of that puck. 3-2, Princeton leads. 17 shots to 8 for Princeton over Bowling Green, and many of those coming here in just this second period. 10 of them to Bowling Green's 2. Jacobs is wasted into the boards. Out to the blue line, Zlinka. Zlinka with a shot off of the skate of Jacobs. Up high in the air, out to center. Slapped at by McKinley, who stays in front of Jacobs. Looks for a pass into the slot. Kai Daniels with the puck. Moves it out to the left wing. Rubin up there, but he leaves it for Jacobs. Turned over, back to Bowling Green. Outlet to Jaden Grant. Lead pass up, and a hit in front of the bench. Cisan able to force the Falcon away, and that Falcon to go for a change. It's Minville off for Levis on. Levis immediately on the forecheck. Kai Daniels, lead pass up to Manfree. Manfree's tipped into the boards. Jake Manfree's been all over the place today, has taken a penalty, but that penalty was not scored on by Bowling Green. 2 minutes of penalty kill for Princeton. And unlike yesterday, Dan, the penalties have not played a huge factor in today's game.
We haven't seen a lot of penalties, but you kind of are going to see one, especially when Krodia gets 15 minutes. It's not that easy to get more than that, but, Gorman, though, able to get a 3-2 game. That's his 5th goal of the season, as Bowling Green's now going to be forced to break it out again.
Crampton will gather, force it up the ice to center, and it's Kai Greaves with the puck. His pass good to Malcolm Green. Into the offensive zone again. Morneau will get the puck on the left wing. Couple of Falcons up. They have the short change, so they'll get some new guys on. Morneau trying to make something happen. Blue line, slap shot, Crampton. Long blocked by Malcolm Green, and Niedermeyer will touch it up first. Bank pass back to Crampton. A big slap shot by Crampton, but a full block by the 6'6" frame of Malcolm Green. Back behind the goal is Anderson. Kevin Anderson pinned up against the boards. Puck away. Niedermeyer gathers it in the corner. Bowling Green's been better on the puck the last couple of minutes. Still not great. Shot around Steinman, and as he gains his position back. Lata in the corner. Second most recent goal. Brendan Gorman, the most recent goal. A absolutely dirty play just to lift it up in the air and drop it down over the head of Steinman. This puck dropped down in front. Bowling Green clears it. Steinman standing tall again. He hasn't had too much help. Here's Quinn Emerson ranging in. David Ma to play the puck. Here's Hodson on the left wing. Bowling Green with a bit of a rush there. He's Norris to McKinley. McKinley takes steps in, tries to drag it away, and a good poke check by number 14, Carson Bidens, the junior, and the center, a new inclusion a very nice defensive play. Lata, Bidens, and Solier have been the catalyst for this Princeton team in the third period, although they only have one goal on Lata's. They've just done so many good things in keeping the puck toward the Tigers. Shot in, gloved by Steinman, and we'll get a freezing of play with 5:18 left to play in the second period. 3-2. Princeton leads Bowling Green with 2 straight goals here in the second, and they lead Bowling Green trying to come away from the weekend with a split weekend. Here's the second timeout, sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, proud creators of the Ale Ziggy Zumba, a light ale made in collaboration with BG Athletics, a fan favorite in the Madhouse on Mercer, the Stroh Center in the Doit, also available 145 South Main Street and downtown Bowling Green. For latest menus and Juniper Brewing Company details, go to juniperbrew.com. 5:20 left to play in the second period. A 1-goal lead for the Tigers. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hi, my name is Kay Eigner. I'm number 17 on the women's volleyball team, and my Falcon 4 bucket list places are probably anywhere in British Columbia, Canada, Vail, Colorado in the wintertime, Portofino, and Stockholm, Sweden.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In for the defensive zone draw will come Ben Duran after the Juniper Brewing Company media timeout here from the Falcon Media and Sports Network in the Slater Family Ice Arena. For all BGSU sports news and updates, go to bgfalconmedia.com or BG_FMSN on Twitter X. Also tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m. with a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network analysts. We'll talk about everything going on in Bowling Green athletics, including football, volleyball, hockey, both men's and women's basketballs, and some non-revenue sports here in Bowling Green as well. The draw won by the Falcons. Karodia gets a touchdown. It's turned back over to Princeton. Cisan trying to keep it inside the blue line. Ryman comes up with it down the left wing into the offensive zone. Ryman and Durant on a big forecheck. Only 5 minutes left in the second period. That's flown by, especially if you're a Princeton fan, but it's lasted forever if you're a Bowling Green fan. 2 goals given up by Bowling Green. One of them pretty lucky. The other one just a very nice play by Brendan Gorman. But either way, 2 goals for the Tigers. Down behind the goal is Hodson. Foe in there as well. Hodson, puck away to Foe, and then it's repinned up. Now it's free once more. Tyler Hodson with the puck battle win there behind the goal line. Here's Dalton Norris. Fed down into Hodson, who was pinned up against the boards, and Jack Blake will recover for Bowling Green. Extra skating defenseman for the Falcons. Simonovic has been beat a couple of times today, and his shifts are the ones being taken away. And it's a hand pass going against Princeton.
The second one of the weekend for a hand pass, but really just a rough go at it. 2 unanswered goals against the Orange and Brown here at the Madhouse on Mercer. And a big part of that, Ben, is just the lack of shots. You're passing the puck too much. You're not getting it on net. I would say you have to shoot the puck if you're down low. If you do want to take it up, get the shots at the defense. That's where you've had success today, is when you get the defensive shot and then you're able to build off the rebound. And you already know Coach Williams loves that.
About 2-to-1 shot-to-shot on goal ratio for Princeton, and a lesser ratio for Bowling Green, less than 2-to-1 by quite a margin. Only 8 shots on goal, and we're at the very much the latter half of the second period. Not the mark Bowling Green wants to be at. Here's Kai Greaves with the puck at the blue line, fires it down to the goal line, played by David Jacobs. Looking for a pass, now back out to the blue line. It's Devlin to play it down. Grabbed by Manfree. Manfree had a point yesterday on an assist. It's into the right wing corner. A penalty upcoming to Bowling Green. Princeton was able to draw that play off, and it looks like Braden Crampton will, without argument, skate over to the box for his second penalty of the match.
So not only a second, that's his second.
Oh, no, that's Jack Blake.
Correct, that is Jack Blake. We're seeing him getting along with that. And you just see it, they clear as day, cross-checking a little bit on the cross side, but kind of in the same zone that we saw the Ivan Korodiak situation from yesterday, but that's going to be a detrimental play against Bowling Green. You need to try to get the momentum, especially with 3:47 left in the second period, and now you're forced to play the box, and you can't let Princeton score here, or else that will make it a very, very difficult third period.
3-2, the Tigers lead Bowling Green. Falcons with the face-off in their own zone. Noah Morneau and Connor Levis out, freshman, skating on the penalty kill for Bowling Green. Niedermeyer and McKinley also on defense, been the most solid defensive duo. And now on these penalty kill situations, Dan, you're really missing the Gustav Stjernberg in the lineup, who's your best penalty killer, one of your more physical players as well. Can just turn things into offense so quickly on the other end. Out to the blue line, turned over to the Falcons, who will elect to pass it out. Here's a breakaway. Connor Levis, short-handed, works it through and in! The gesture went up by the referee, and then he pulled his hand back. Moore looked like he pushed himself inside of the blue line, or inside of the goal line, and the puck came with him.
Okay, so
there's no look at the puck there on the replay. Connor Levis with that breakaway.
Yeah, Levis loses his feet, just a late trip that we see from Kai Greaves, able to get in there, and then also Morneau didn't hear a whistle. He's just jamming it in, trying to get into it on Moore, but an almost Kucherov-style attempt there for Levis. Not going to work as there was some extracurriculars, and now Tyler Rubin will have the puck for Princeton.
So what could have possibly been a short-handed goal for Bowling Green is waved off. Now David Ma in with the puck to carry it inside the blue line. Princeton on a power play. Down the right wing, Ma can't hold it inside the blue line. It'll be Rubin that recenters it. Tyler Rubin loses the puck. It's poke checked away. Quinn Emerson down on the forecheck, and now Adam Zlinka will come up with the puck in the offensive zone for Bowling Green. Now it's taken right back for Princeton. Up the left wing come the Tigers. Here's Steinman to play the puck back out to David Ma on the right wing in front of his own bench. Tyler Rubin again. Now left side. Manfrey had a slap shot in an open net, but he couldn't complete it. A swing and a miss there for Jake Manfrey, who looked for his first goal of the weekend. Kai Daniels, the only goal yesterday. This one iced down for Bowling Green. Tyler Rubin made an athletic play to try and stop it with his leg, but he'll have to go retrieve. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left to play in the second. 20 seconds left to play in the power play. And a whistle away from the puck. And could we be getting a bench minor here?
It does look to be the going in that way, but we keep talking about Tyler Rubin. He did have the puck when that play was ended. And they're going to give another. And yeah, so Princeton going to get another too many men penalty. And ironically, we saw a too many men penalty late in the third period, except that was in the final seconds. And, Coach Willie on that regard from yesterday just stepping right on it. And he just noticed, I asked that question yesterday in the press conference about that too many men, and he was just saying, I'm counting things up in my head, and, things aren't adding up, and I just snap on it quickly. And, the referee going to snap on it quick tonight, so going to have a 4-on-4 for 18 seconds, and then Bowling Green going to have a power play after that.
Facinelli to serve it off. Only 5 seconds of even strength if both penalties are killed off successfully. Bowling Green wins the faceoff back. They have it in the offensive zone. Here's Crampton to Norris. Norris with the puck. His stick and his shot off the stick and up into the netting just before Jack Blake could come out of the box. I'd imagine as well a quick change coming from Bowling Green. That Jack Blake is probably going to head right off the ice as there's 2 defensemen for Bowling Green and 2 forwards. Same for Princeton, but Bowling Green getting back up to 5. Princeton will be at 4 for the next minute and 47 seconds. Norris, the lone defenseman guarding the blue line. The faceoff one back and outside the blue line. Couple of seconds before Blake comes out of the box. Bowling Green with the puck back in their own zone. And imagine they just skate until Blake can get off and a new player can get on. It's Brett Foe on the ice and Blake off. Down the right wing come the Falcons, trailing by 1. Princeton a lead. Crushed up against the boards. but gathering his stick again was Crampton. On the left side, here's Brett Foe at the blue line. Dumps it down, a bit too hot to handle for Ben Duran. Into the right wing corner, Devlin in there with Ben Duran to try and peel the puck away. Falcons now pin it back up. Turned over to Princeton and iced back down by the Tigers. Almost a minute left to play in the power play, 1 minute and 5 seconds left to play in the second period. So about the same, although a little bit more in the period than there is on the power play. Ryman to the right wing, comes Hodson. Hodson, one of the best scorers on this team, backhands it in! Tyler Hodson! Low angle shot on the backhand from the right wing, ties it up on the power play.
Give me that, Tyler Hodson. Give me that for pick the stick. Give me that for it all. Going to be his 5th goal of the season. And a huge turn of events to get the Patrick Kane-style goal just going on the right. Ruben there, not quite in time. We've said his name again. That just going right past him. And Bowling Green needed that power play goal to get the momentum. I was kind of a little bit worried at first, Ben. They were taking their time like Princeton was on the breakout. Eventually got it to Ryman. Then they get it on the far side, and Hodson finds the back of the net.
Tyler Hodson with his 5th goal of the season, and he's got 3 power play goals on the season as well. He's been a huge piece for the Falcons in the man advantage, and they capitalize there. 40 seconds left to play in the second. They're able to tie it up. Princeton back into the offensive zone and now turn back away. Here's Adam Zlinka. Zlinka with the puck, makes a good move, tries to wrap it in, and Daniel Moore to shut it off. A great play by the Princeton goaltender as he lost his stick and made a good left outreaching save with his pillow.
So saw that similar to almost Levis' situation as you have the Princeton guy just going right back on him, trying to get there, and then also heavily protecting of Dan Moore there in net, and not quite going to work out just like last time, but we'll see if Bowling Green, who now has some momentum, can go out there. They're going to have the line of Quinn Emerson, Ben Duran, and Braden Crampton out there with Dominic Ryman and Dalton Norris to get something here with 28 seconds left in the period.
Trying to somehow get into the second intermission in the third period with a lead, which would be a miracle here after what for 15 minutes of the second period was maybe some of the poorest hockey we've seen played this season by the Falcons. Most surely, head coach Dennis Williams wouldn't be happy with it, but at least they have a tie right now and a chance to take a lead here in the offensive zone. Turn back over to Malcolm Green of Princeton, and a whistle and the play is blown dead. It's going to come back down into the Princeton end of the ice, it looks like.
So 8 seconds just going to get chopped off there, but nonetheless really needing to continue the momentum forward. We'll go back to center ice, though. Going to be a little bit different here and just have to take it away, but really, like you said, Bowling Green has definitely gained the momentum now just out of nowhere.
Bowling Green wins the faceoff back. Dalton Norris with the puck. Now into the right wing corner is Malcolm Green. Green takes a bump. Bowling Green gets the puck away. Held inside the blue line. Down behind the goal line. Dalton Norris takes a pretty violent check there. There's Green to pass it away. Couple of seconds left to play in the second period. They'll expire. And Bowling Green somehow comes away with the tie score heading into the third period after giving up 2 within 3 minutes of each other to Princeton. Tyler Hodson, the power play goal in the late bones of that second period, and we have a 3-3 tie going into the final 20. We'll unpack it in our Marta Crow second intermission report, and you'll hear from Gavin Gill again back in the studio of WBGU 88.1 FM. You're listening to Falcon Hockey.
Ever heard of Falcon Media Sports Network's broadcast on Falcon Radio or WBGU 88.1 FM but don't know where to listen? Well, set down the radio, pick up your phone, and go to bgfalconmedia.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to stream Falcon Radio and WBGU 88.1 FM for all broadcasts.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
This is a Falcon Media Sports Network studio update.
You're listening to 88.1 WBGU, your home for Falcon hockey. This second intermission report is brought to you in memory of Marta Crow, Falcon hockey fanatic and avid Falcon hockey on WBGU 80.1 listener. 3-3 currently in the second period for the Princeton Tigers against the BGSU Falcons. Doing a round the CCHA real quick, and then we're going to slip into around BGSU sports. Once again, Augusta versus Lake Superior State, 1-0. Lake Superior State, Minnesota State versus Northern Michigan. Minnesota State's holding the lead at 3-2. St. Thomas is in the lead against Michigan Tech, 2-1. And Bemidji State versus North Dakota State has yet to kick off yet. Around BGSU sports this week, we have tomorrow, November 30th at 2 p.m., women's basketball is going to take on Purdue Fort Wayne at the Stroh Center. Tune into WBGU for Lucas Kleinmeyer and Adam Duffin on the call with doesn't look like there's going to be a pregame show, but tune in 5 minutes early, 5 till 2 tomorrow for that action. Men's basketball will tip off at 8 p.m. on December 1st. We don't have a broadcast for that, but check out the recap and a preview on bgfalconmedia.com from Artie Abrego and Foster Rosti. Women's basketball, once again, back at the Stroh, December 3rd, taking on Kentucky State with a broadcast from Adam Duffin and Falcon Media Sports Network's Trey. We will also have a recap of the event by Andrew. 7 p.m. tip-off there. Women's swim will be heading to Akron, Ohio, December 4th and December 7th. Check out a recap on bgfalconmedia.com. And December 5th, we will have women's track heading to Findlay, Ohio for the Euler Open. Once again, Dawson will have the recap of the event on bgfalconmedia.com. Next week, Northern Michigan at the Slater Family Ice Arena, Bowling Green, December 5th, 7:07 puck drop. Once again, we will have Ben Korak on the call. So make sure to tune in at 6:45 to 6:35 for a preview of a pregame show of that game. Next week, also on December. And then here comes the heavy slate of BG Athletic games on December 6th, Saturday. Beginning the day off, we will have BG men's basketball with a broadcast from Foster Rosti at 1 p.m. Women's track and field will also have a tournament or a track meet that day. Gymnastics will also be at home that day. Multiple home events here at BG next Saturday, and then ending the night will be the second game of the Northern Michigan series at the Slater Family Ice Arena. 6:07 puck drop with Ben Korat and Nathan Burkett on the call for that one. You're listening to 88.1 WBGU, your home for Falcon hockey. We're gonna listen to a couple promos, and we'll be right back.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Did you know that pet stores obtain bearded dragons from a massive breeding warehouse in Xenia, where around 15,000 of these lizards are kept in row after row of barren plastic tubs? A whistleblower saw desperately thirsty dragons deprived of water and severely injured animals left to suffer without care. That same person also found dead dragons by the dozens, Always adopt, never buy animals, and don't shop at stores that sell them. Go to PETA.org to learn more.
Falcon Media Sports Network will have an in-studio pregame show for all football broadcasts this season, beginning approximately 25 minutes before the kickoff for each game. Make sure to tune in on Falcon Radio for our newly extended coverage.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
My life was going downhill fast. Everybody was on my case. Now, I kept hoping that life would change real soon. I knew drinking too much messed up my life. A friend suggested I check out AA. It worked. I found myself in an AA group. Finally, I've got my act together.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces more feature stories about BGSU athletics than any other media outlet. Make sure to head over to bgfalconmedia.com and follow Falcon Media Sports Network at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to stay up to date with all of our content.
Hi, this is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Every 2 minutes, another American is sexually assaulted. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, you are not alone. Help is just a call or click away through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Please call 1-800-656-HOPE, that's HOPE, or visit rain.org, that's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAIN and this station.
With the shot, and he fills it. Another shot, and he scores. Gustav Stjernberg. Brody Waters tips it in for the Bowling Green goal. Back over the middle to the inside. What a save from Cole Moore. McKinley with the slap shot. He fills it. Brooke McKinley from the point puts it in. Brody Waters hat trick. Jack Blake with the shootout winner.
I don't believe it. The champagne is flowing in Bowling Green.
Back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, the continuation of the Marta Crow second intermission report in memory of Marta Crow, a longtime BGSU hockey fan and listener of WBGU 88.1 FM's Falcon hockey coverage. Dan, we saw 3 goals in that period, 2 by Princeton, 1 by Bowling Green, the exact opposite of what we saw in the first. But unlike the first, all 3 of them relatively unclean. Lata had a goal that kind of went off the back of Steinman, another goal by Princeton that was flipped over the head of Steinman in a crazy play, and then Tyler Hodson with a backhand from the goal line. Kind of odd goals that we saw there in the second.
Exactly, and it was a good pickup for Bowling Green near the end of the second period to get things going, trying to get things in their favor, but overall just not the period that you wanted and nowhere near the level of the second period from yesterday. I mean, only 5 shots on goal in the period today, so you're lucky you were able to get a goal off that. Quick, too, though, for Princeton to be able to get that in their regard, and that's what keeps them in this game, currently tied up. And Bowling Green also, though, able to get one from Hodson late to try to be able to continue their momentum as well, so they were able to tie it up. And overall, just really even matched, and even though Bowling Green was kind of outmatched in that second period, they've been able to even the playing field going into the third.
That late power play goal by Hodson was on the power play, his 5th of the season, put Bowling Green at 1 for 2 on power play opportunities today. Princeton is just 0 for 1, and penalties haven't really factored too much into today's game like they did yesterday, especially the 5-minute major that Bowling Green had to serve out in the middle period there. But you saw, back-to-back games now, Dan. You saw a very good second period for Bowling Green yesterday. You saw a pretty poor first 15 minutes of the second period today, and somehow they were able to play too even with Princeton, who it was looking like they were going to go into the third down a goal. Just what do you want to see for the Falcons going forward into this third period as they try and get another win toward their overall record?
I want to see the momentum change for Bowling Green. I want it to, you see it change, and that's good. So you already got step one, but then I want to see it continue. I just don't want that to be a quick, 5 minutes of fame and then you're all done for the third period. You need to start out strong and continue on what you began near the late of the second period. And the fact that it's just a 0-0 mentality right now, you still can go out there and continue on with the game that you rightfully earned. And also, though, you're going to have to pick up the shots. That's been a real low point today for Bowling Green. I mean, fortunately, the first shot you get of the game ends up being a goal, but nonetheless, you have to continue onward. And overall today, you only have 11, 6 of those in the first and 5 of those going in the second period. So definitely an adjustment that needs to be made and a little bit of a change. But I would say overall, you need to see more shots on net, and you're going to have to pass the puck less. That's what it means, because Princeton's starting to pick up on that in terms of passing. So you got to get the more shots on net. And if you are going to pass, try passing it up just a little bit higher. Great screen opportunities on Dan Moore. Going to start out with the defense.
Bowling Green looking for their 7th win of the season. Princeton looking for their 6th and first in the career of Dan Moore, just in his first career start as well, the freshman out of Allendale, New Jersey. Princeton came into this weekend 5-2. They really don't want to be leaving the weekend threatening going down to 500, considering they're also 500 in the ECAC. Going into this third period, a must-win game for these Tigers. Just what do you want to see from Princeton that's going to drive them toward a win here in the final 20?
Princeton's going to need to take advantage of Bowling Green's mistakes. I mean, there was a lot of mistakes for the Falcons that they saw in the second period, and that's what, led for them to be able to take advantage. So overall, I'd say is take advantage of the mistakes and the opportunities given to you, but we've been able to see a Princeton team that's able to adapt quickly. I mean, you look from yesterday, the breakout just unable to connect the way that they wanted to, and then you see a little bit more action today with the breakout. It's quicker, it's more concise, and it's taking advantage of the chances. So if you're able to continue that moving along, and you can take advantage of the breakout, Bowling Green's going to have a heavy forecheck. So if you can capitalize on that and maybe break it out just a little bit quicker, or force Bowling Green back, you see them right there on you, and take the play out just a little bit more, you're going to have Bowling Green backtracking and trying to take advantage of that and hopefully get a couple more shots on Steinman.
Quick break here before we come back and battle between the Falcons and the Tigers once more. A 3-3 game will be decided here in the final 20 or more if we need it, here from the Slater Family Ice Arena. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On August 28, 2025, BGSU football running back Cameron Petaway returned a kickoff 97 yards for a touchdown on the first play of the season against Lafayette. The second straight year, the Falcons found pay dirt on the first play of the campaign. Falcon Media Sports Network Sean Connolly had the call of the moment on Falcon Radio.
Dumont kicks it away, and we are underway in the 2025 football season, and it will be returned. Like he's got an opening, and will we see it again? There he goes. He's at the 50. There he goes for the second straight year. He will be gone. 2 years in a row, Cameron Petaway. Touchdown Falcons. Unbelievable.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
If you're a veteran looking to file for your service-connected benefits through the Department of Veterans Affairs, don't go it alone. AMVET's highly trained service officers stand ready to walk you through the process at VA regional offices around the country, helping you to navigate the complex VA system free of charge. With new presumptions for Agent Orange exposure and other conditions, AMVETS can offer you the advice you need to finally receive all of your earned benefits. In 2009 alone, AMVETS helped process more than 65,000 claims and appeals, securing more than $410 million in benefits. To find your nearest AMVET service officer or to learn more, visit amvets.org.
Falcon Hockey on the radio at 88.1 FM and streaming online at bgfalconmedia.com.
A 3-3 score and 20 miles left to skate for both Bowling Green and Princeton as they skate here for the final time this weekend in the Slater Family Ice Arena. The last non-conference series of the season that will be played in this building in full. The next two non-conference series of the season will be Ohio State at the turn of the year. That'll be a home-and-home in Columbus and then here in Bowling Green. And then Notre Dame in the first weekend of February, I believe, will be played at South Bend, and then will be played also here in Bowling Green. Also another non-conference matchup against the United States National Development Program. The Bowling Green played in Plymouth, Michigan last year, and will play here in the slate later on in December. That'll be December 29th. The Falcons and the Eagles drop puck here in the slate. And a 3-3 score we have between Bowling Green and Princeton, an ECAC opponent for the Falcons. Been a long time since they've played together, and the last time they did play was here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, but a big lead for Bowling Green all time. I know the first 7 matchups were all won by the Falcons in domination for Bowling Green in this matchup. And the puck going to be whistled dead, and the faceoff's going to be in center ice with only about 20 seconds expired here in the third period. Bowling Green really trying to get on top of that shot on goal statistic, Dan. That's something that they've trailed pretty much all day today since the first couple of minutes of the game, and that's something Dennis Williams doesn't ever like to see is his team down in shots on goal. You need to jump on it quick, and you need to be able to get those chances, and who else is better to do that than the line of Brody Waters, Ben Duran, and Tyler Hodson. Hodson up at center ice. Waters sweeps it back to McKinley. McKinley and Niedermeyer have played so much today. Maybe the highest time on ice for either side, but definitely for the Falcons, skating on defense, power play, and penalty kill. And McKinley and Niedermeyer connected for the first goal of the game. Niedermeyer's second of the season, and McKinley's 11th assist. Turned over, but not held inside the blue line. Ben Duran gets the puck lifted, and it's out into the Bowling Green end. Karodiak together, playing with Dalton Norris. His lead pass up is tipped by Jacobs. Now tipped ahead by Bowling Green. Morneau will chase along with Dom Ryman and Quinn Emerson, the forward line for Bowling Green that's been quiet the last 2 games. Dom Ryman able to score yesterday, assisted by Dalton Norris, and neither Morneau nor Emerson got a point yesterday. A rare low point day for that first line that's been so good as of the last couple of weeks for the Falcons. 18:30 left to play in the third period. Simonovic has the puck behind his net. Jacob Steinman currently at 14 saves, 3 goals allowed, and .824 save percentage. Trying to play for a job with Tyler Palmer, who played pretty well yesterday, allowed only 1 goal. And Dan, understandably, as we have a whistle here in the rink, understandably you play both goaltenders this weekend. This is non-conference, doesn't matter toward CCHA play, but considering how well Tyler Palmer played, a little bit odd that he didn't get the net again today. Well, I mean, yeah, you're going to want to shake things up a little bit. It was kind of interesting to see that with Palmer. I expected him to play tonight, but going to keep it going a little bit. I mean, Steinman needed a little bit of a pickup after the St. Thomas series. Anderson shot in, deflected off of the skate of Zlinka. It's into the Bowling Green end of the ice. Princeton trying to put together some offense. They controlled the entire first 15 minutes of the second period, and then Bowling Green climbed back in and evened up a 3-2 score with a power play goal by Tyler Hodson, his 3rd power play goal of the season and his 5th total goal of his 2025-26 campaign. Devlin with the puck, shot in towards Steinman. It squeaks through his legs, but wide of the goal. Maybe a lucky break there by the freshman goaltender. At the blue line, shot in, blocked up high in the air and rinked around to the left side. Peltier down to the goal line, picked up by Kevin Anderson. Anderson wearing one of the A's for the Tigers, along with 2 other players, and the captain, which is David Jacobs. Lead pass up to Soulier will not connect, but it's back to Princeton anyway. Soulier tips it in, number 22, towards Steinman, who will cover it up, and the Falcons will get the set of guys that they want on the ice, but a faceoff will be in the O-zone for the Tigers. Get a bit of a momentum shift here, going to be essential for Bowling Green right now, and they'll keep things rolling along. But, you know, Connor Levis has been using his speed a lot today behind the scenes and really letting the play develop and using a lot on the force, not really using going towards it, but he's able to go around it and just use the speed as he'll take the draw again here. Puck dropped on the dot, face-off one. McKinley, it's outside the blue line, gloved and dropped by Ma, who twice now today has gloved and dropped the puck to try and keep it on sides with his skates outside the blue line, which is a pretty routine call. And for the draw again is Luke Peltier with Connor Levis. Levis might have broke his stick, but he'll skate away with the same twig. He'll intercept the puck there, dump it back down to Brandon Wynot, down to the goal line. Bowling Green, can't remember the last time they really put together too much offense. Even the goal they scored in the power play was kind of a bit of an odd goal from Tyler Hodson down toward the goal line on the right wing, backhanded it, and just kind of squeaked it through in a low-angle shot. And the right wing now, Bowling Green pins the puck up against the boards, and it's taken away by Carson Bidens. You know, that big stretch of time for Princeton when they led in the second period. Soulier, Bidens, and Lata. None of the three played yesterday. All of the three really the catalysts for that high-scoring second period for Princeton. Down behind the goal, Gorman and Esmond in there for Princeton. The puck worked three with three Falcons. Waters knocked down to the ice. He's struggled to stay on his feet today. Crossing pass into the slot, carried away by the Falcons. Karodiak in there with Brendan Gorman, picks off the puck. Now it's pinned up against the corner again. A lot of 50-50 puck battles today, and Karodiak will flip it out to center. Hodson dumps it up. Cison gets the puck battle win. It's up in front of the Princeton bench, back down to the Bowling Green end. McKinley thought he had somebody chasing him, but nobody is, as Princeton was going for a change. Lead pass up, Morneau to chase. Dom Ryman with him, so is Quinn Emerson. Emerson forces the puck free, but the black jerseys get there first. Up to center, Crampton in his home white, wearing number 25 for Bowling Green with the puck in his own zone. Off the half wall, Quinn Emerson up, broke a 5-game point streak with no points yesterday. 9 points during that time had Quinn Emerson, playing on a first line with two of the best freshmen in the CCHA, Noah Morneau and Dom Ryman, or at least they have been the last couple of weeks. Zlinka took a hit a bit high. Kai Daniels behind the goal line for Princeton in the offensive zone. Down to the right wing, Greaves with a shot in. This one up high in the air, maybe hit the ceiling, but also Karams out of play. We'll get a new biscuit and we'll drop puck probably at center ice.
Also going to see some new players go out. Jaden Grant being one of them, Breck McKinley and Jack Blake as well. But overall, too, just going to have to reshift things here. And, you know, since the puck went out, Bowling Green going to be deep, heavily in defensive territory. So we'll see an interesting combination. Three lined up in front of Steinman. Nobody in the corner as they're going to put a man right on the left wing.
Back up to the blue line. Marciano with the shot in, works its way through. Didn't look like a big screen in front of Steinman, and he's able to hold on. Although that was the 6'6", 225-pound forward Malcolm Green that was working with McKinley there across the slot.
Yeah, exactly. Green has the momentum. He's got the height, and he's going to be taking the draw here against Levis to go for this. And Bowling Green going to have the same formation, nobody in the corner, so McKinley will be forced to take it out.
Green loses the faceoff, has played all 7 games this season, scored only 1 point on November 15th against Stonehill. That was the lone goal game played 2 weeks ago. And the win against Stonehill, the first of a 3-game winning streak for Connor Callahan, the goaltender for Princeton, who was yanked early yesterday in favor of Dan Moore, and Moore has stood tall today. 8 saves and 3 goals allowed, but that doesn't tell the story. He's made some pretty spectacular saves for just his first ever game started. Lead pass up, Green with the puck off the half wall, down for Steinman to play, and it's playable for Karodiak around the other side. Here's Crampton. He fiddles with the puck a bit, gets it up to Wynot. Wynot tips it. Ben Duran screeching in. Tyler Rubens scrapes it around the boards into Hodson. Hodson with the puck down to the goal line. Shot in tight with Moore. It's pulled away by Princeton. A nice play to squander that opportunity. Here's Brody Waters. Waters knocks a man down to the ice, still going for the puck. It crosses into the corner. Brody Waters with a nice physical play there. He's got a big body and doesn't use it too much, but Dan, it was really nice to see him throw a body there when he loses the puck.
It really was. The physicality has been strong, and a big part why Princeton is still in this is the physicality that they're having.
3-3 the score, 13:30 left to play in the third period. Quinn Emerson on a Three-man forecheck. Dom Ryman to pick up the puck on the left wing. Dumped up by Brendan Gorman. Facinelli, who took a penalty earlier on, gets the puck away. Emerson down. Morneau to chase with Kai Greaves. Kai Greaves, the defenseman, skating in number 23 for Princeton. Simonovic on the left wing, off the half wall, down into the offensive zone for the Falcons. Devlin plays the puck around to the right wing. Facinelli again, up the right side, leaves it forward. Simonovic back to pick up the puck. Seeing more of Jack Blake in place of Simonovic, who's been beat a couple of times by Princeton, one of them resulting in a goal by Brendan Gorman. The weird one that he flipped over the head of Steinman. Now on the left wing comes Grant, leaves it back for Crampton. Crampton wheeling around, shot in, deflected away by Moore. It looked like he was trying to cover it up, but he got it away from the white jerseys. Another shot in, dropped down on the high slot. Zlinko was trying to come in and hammer away at the puck, but it's swept away by Princeton. They'll go for a couple of man change. Bowling Green will get back on sides and will go back in offensively. Still a 6-shot on goal lead for Princeton. A 3-3 tie for Bowling Green. Shot in there from Kurodiak, looking for his first point since January of 2025 when he scored his first career point. That's his only career point. The puck kind of slides over to Steinman without a touch, and he'll cover it up with under 12 left to play in the third.
And going to be a good change there to shake things up a little bit on the far side, but Jeremy Minville, who will be getting off for this one, was going to be heading to the bench, but we saw him down there. He was being a nuisance right in front of Dan Moore and really leading to the good opportunities that BG needs to try to set the screen and get the shot on net.
Minville not afraid to get in tight. His first goal and point of his career was in Game 1 against Bemidji State here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. Also recorded his first career block in that game as well, did Jeremy Minville, and he's played quite a solid amount of games since. Somewhat in and out of the lineup this year, but for a freshman on a very skillful team for the Falcons and a very young team, he's played pretty sizably. Slapped out by the Orange and Brown, and it'll be an icing against the Orange and Brown as they won't get a change, and a couple of guys will really skate tired. Crodia kind of limps over to the bench, a bit worse for wear.
Yeah, just an unfortunate turn of events that we're going to see there, and really needed that line change, but now you got around 11:39 left in the third period, so now you need to try to get a breakout and at least get it to the red line at center ice to be able to get a dump in, chase after it with one guy, and then the rest change.
Kurodiak still hurting on the Bowling Green bench, and if you're the Falcons, you cannot afford any more injuries. Already the loss of Max Martin this weekend to injury. Gustav Stjernberg has been out with a right hand injury for quite a while. This puck into the Princeton bench. Falcons 2 years ago suffered some pretty big injuries down the stretch. Ben Wozni and Ryan O'Hara being the two major ones. Last year, Stjernberg on and off injured throughout the season. I believe missed about 6 to 8 games due to some nagging injuries that he had. Christian Stover during a hot spell also missed some time for the Falcons. So health always a theme in hockey, but especially for Bowling Green, who's relatively deep. You do want to keep your veterans out there on the ice, or at least the guys with the most experience. Back in the Bowling Green end, Simonovic ices it out to center. Malcolm Green with a slap shot in, slowed down by Steinman on the half wall. Waters avoids a hit, spins him and Peltier out of the play. And a whistle and a penalty upcoming. Peltier looks like he's going to try and plead his case, but he's going to be going off for 2. And Luke Peltier will get his first penalty of the game. And Bowling Green will head under their third power play, trying to convert on their second.
Came from the result, just trying to knock on Waters and get him away on that, but going to be sent to the box, as we'll see a little bit more of a trend going along from here, as now they will be down. That's 8th penalty minute so far as a team today, but we'll see what else can come from this, as Bowling Green will now take it away with Morneau.
Big opportunity here for the Falcons to try and score on the power play. They've already done it once with Tyler Hodson. This crossed over. Bowling Green comes up with the puck after the one faceoff. Turned it over to David Ma. Ma held in nicely on a good play. Now coming the left wing. Ice to the right wing. Tipped back in to the middle. Tyler Hodson couldn't complete his assist. Knocked down in front. A diving play to keep the puck inside the blue line. Brendan Gorman gets it to the left wing. Skated out by David Jacobs, who's just trying to waste time against the boards. And now he gives it up to the Orange and Brown. McKinley with the puck behind his goaltender and played by Morneau. Morneau, Hodson, Ryman, and Duran out for the Falcons, along with Braden Crampton, the fifth skater for Bowling Green, the only defenseman on the ice. Now Duran takes it up with speed through center, puts a move on Malcolm Green. Now up the left wing comes Ben Duran. Devlin around. Lotta comes up with the puck and dumps it back down to Steinman. 10 minutes left to play in the third period. Under a minute left to play in the power play. Not a shot on goal on this man advantage for the Falcons yet. On the left wing, Minville tips it forward. Devlin comes up with the puck, and he flips it high in the air over the heads of the Falcons. And this line for Bowling Green is skating maybe a bit tired toward the end of this power play, but they really need to get a score and break the tie here. It's even ice. 3-3 here in the third. Whistle and an offsides.
A common trend this weekend of the offside call, and really going to continue it onward here, but Bowling Green going to get the line change, and we'll continue it on as well. 30 seconds left currently, as we'll see in the penalty for Princeton, but now Morneau going out there again with Hodson and Crampton.
That might be a nice hard reset for the Falcons. Crampton to ring it around to the left side. Cison in the corner. Morneau battling away at the puck. He's so good in those puck battles, and it's one back. Here's Crampton with the puck. He had a shot opportunity there, and he has to put it off the high glass as he lost possession of the puck for a second. Held in there on the left wing by Ryman. Puck on the half wall still. A couple of Princeton Tigers in there, and now maybe a bit of an odd man rush for the Tigers. Coming the other way is Lotta. Crossed it over to Steinman, who plays it into the corner. Coming out of the box is Peltier, and 2 successful penalty kills out of 3 tries for the Princeton Tigers. 9 minutes left to play in the third period. 3-3 Bowling Green and Princeton. The Falcons with a 4-1 win domination yesterday over the Tigers and Ben Sire. And now the second-year head coach looks to split the weekend with fellow second-year head coach Dennis Williams of the Falcons. Touched there by David Ma in the Bowling Green offensive zone. Brennan Gorman, the centerman, on the right wing. Said his name so much today. He's everywhere at once. Facinelli is taken out of the play. Simonovic plays the puck, backhanded. Facinelli and Ma collectively hold it in. Grant gets the puck back in his own zone. Now we'll skate back to help Dalton Norris, who's got McKinley with him. McKinley with the puck, right wing in his own zone. Now to the middle to Norris. Up to the left wing to Brandon Wynot. Wynot up, Bowling Green offensively. Slap shot in off the half wall. Levis takes his man out of the play, but the puck's still behind. It's rinked back out to the blue line. Norris down to Levis. Emerson gets a touch as well. It's in the right wing, but the Tigers have possession. Emerson on a good forecheck, but missed his poke. And now here comes Kai Daniels. Kai Daniels splits a couple of defenders, and it's poked away by Norris. A nice defensive play by the captain, who had Crampton with him, who had the defensive recovery in the clear. 7:30 left to play in the third. Still knotted up at 3. Shot over into the corner. Simonovic plays it around to Norris. Now to Foe. Foe slaps at it. It's in the Bowling Green end. Princeton battling for possession on the right wing side. Shot in, missed the rack wide. Right wide of the freshman goaltender Steinman. Simonovic's hand got a bit up high in the face of Kai Daniels. Moved his mask up. Puck back into the Princeton end. Cison has possession. 7 exactly to play in the third. The pass is tipped by McKinley, and because it's tipped, Princeton's caught just a bit long and off sides, and we'll have our mid-third period media timeout brought to you by Juniper Brewing Company, located at 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. 7 minutes left to play in the third period, all knotted up at 3 here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hi, I'm Jaden Progerio on the women's soccer team, and I'm doing my Falcon 4 favorite places in BG. First would have to be Meyer, second would have to be Juniper, third would have to be the beach, and number 4 would be the fires behind the business building. Thanks.
You are listening to Falcon Media Sports Network coverage on WBGU 88.1 FM in Bowling Green, Ohio.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena, 7 to go here in the third. Bowling Green had a power play opportunity, but was not able to capitalize on it, Dan. That would have been a big chance for the Falcons to be able to score and put the pressure on Princeton, but it's still knotted up and pretty evenly tilted ice here in the slate.
Sure needed advantage of the opportunity there on the power play. Still, though, just lacking the shots. You got a little bit of, spurts of energy that you're getting with the shots, but that's been the main Achilles heel for Bowling Green. And as for Princeton, it's just staying on side. That has been their biggest challenge yet today, as we will take a draw at the neutral zone.
Neutral zone toward the Bowling Green side. Steinman stops the puck at his skates behind the rack. They'll get back into the crease as Princeton in offensively. Peltier in with Green, back out to the blue line. David Ma, the shot off of the stick of Quinn Emerson. Quinn Emerson in his final season with the Falcons. Now 8 full years played for a Falcon and the Emerson family with Bowling Green. Nelson Emerson played for Bowling Green back in the 80s. I believe his first season was 1987-88. And played with Rob Blake, whose first season was 1988-89, I believe. As here's a icing call against the Falcons, and luckily they got fresh legs because they're not going to get a change.
2 big Falcons just mentioned there, Ben, in the history of Bowling Green Falcon hockey, but we'll see where this one can go again. One guy, though, who I would say has definitely been putting his mark on BG hockey, especially this season, is Noah Morneau, as he will take the draw again here.
Morneau wins it back to McKinley. Off the glass and out of the zone. Bowling Green ices it back, and that will not get them a change, as it is again going to be an icing against the Falcons. Bowling Green within 5 in shots on goal now. The total shots, they haven't even reached 30 yet, and are up to 2-1 in shots to shots on goal, whereas Princeton has been forced to less high-quality chances, and that's reflected on the stat sheet. Under 20 shots on goal to 42 total shots. 2-1 is about the ratio that head coach Dennis Williams looks for, and is a pretty good ratio, all things considered. 30 total shots would give you 15 shots on goal in a game, and normally you get quite a bit more than that. Hodson into the blue line. Waters to try and hold it in. He's being pushed from both ends in front of the Princeton bench by, it looked like Esbin and Facinelli. Under 6 left to play in the third. We're going to get a face-off in the Princeton side of neutral.
No surprise at all either why you'd want to get under the skin of Brody Waters. You want to try to take him out. I mean, he led the team last season with 16 goals, so you're looking to see what he can do, try to get under his skin, and we'll see him here on the right wing.
10 of those goals last season as well, and the power play for Brody Waters, who came alive in the Ferris State Series. 3 goals after not scoring at all this season. Here's Esmond down the left wing, crossing to center, and barreling into the net was Brennan Gorman. The play is going to be stopped. Thankfully, Gorman is okay after that, because that could have been a collarbone breaker had he hit that net any harder than he did.
Well, Simonovic just using his 6'3" frame, 200 pounds, definitely wanted to get in the skin of that. I mean, Simonovic, a guy who's represented Latvia at the 22-23 World Juniors, I mean, he's a guy that you don't want to mess with, and just Gorman getting in on that one, and a bit of a collision there as we'll go back to the neutral zone.
Just kind of glanced off the net, and of course the detachable moorings allowing that net to come free and not injuring as many players as there was back when the net was bolted to the ice, which understandably creates a immovable object against a very fast-moving force. As the puck up into the Bowling Green bench. 5.5 left to play in the third. Both teams running out of time to make a move in regulation. Although the loss of a point doesn't mean too much in non-conference play, you are still just searching for a win. Connor Levis in for the faceoff with Kai Daniels. Kai Daniels scored a goal yesterday, did not score a goal today, but he scored his goal for the weekend and now up to 9. Looking for his 10th in his first double-digit goal-scoring season of his career. In 3 seasons, the junior has scored 35 points in 55 games. It's a pretty good ratio right there, and almost 20 goals during that time. So he's searching for his first of double-digit goals and his 20-goal marker as well as Kai Daniels.
Sure looking for another one, and definitely due for one soon. Was a deciding piece yesterday. I mean, you look at a guy who, as a junior, played 30 games as a freshman alone, so his time with Princeton, he has definitely done his best to make his mark.
Shot up high. Steinman gets a leg, or an arm on it, I should say. Kai Daniels off, and now a new set of forwards on for Princeton. Here from the right wing, shot in, deflected away by Steinman. A nice save to direct it away from the black jerseys. Peltier behind. Kevin Anderson's pressed up against the boards as well. Puck away. Wynot's battling with Malcolm Green, and he forced Green out of the way. That's a big play on a physical player. Wynot against Malcolm Green. But now Wynot to the other end, one of the fastest skaters on the team. Into the corner, lost his stick, took his man out of the play. Now going for the stick is Brandon Wynot. You'd have a heck of a lot of fun just watching Brandon Wynot fly around the ice. He's made physical plays, he's made quick plays, and he's even played without a stick on this shift alone. Now he'll skate off, and Dom Ryman will head on down toward the slot in case the puck came free. It does come free, but to Princeton, they get it on the right wing, and they take it up just to waste some time. It's Kevin Anderson that gets his guys a change. Now David Jacobs in to play the puck. It's swiped away from him at the last second. Marciano back down behind, played by Norris, out to number 77, Dom Ryman, the freshman. Played for the Everett Silvertips, where he signed late to Bowling Green, was coached by head coach Dennis Williams 2 years ago, was Dom Ryman, as this puck is off the stick and up and out of play.
So another rush just prematurely ended for Princeton there that you'll see it, and they're going to be forced to stop this one again as Foe will recover his stick, but overall just a tough turnaround for Princeton as they're starting to get the rush and then it just falls short by either the puck going out of play or an offside.
Ben Duran in for the draw. Iced back down. Steinman stopped it nicely behind the goal line. Both Steinman and Palmer do pretty well at playing the puck, which is a aspect of the game that's a little bit overlooked, as the Falcons the last couple of years have not had goaltenders that are extremely talented at playing the puck, and these are two very young goaltenders. Palmer, just a sophomore who played yesterday, and Steinman, just a freshman. Here at the blue line, Duran off the half wall, back down behind the goal line. Playable for Hodson in the left wing corner. Now to Duran with open ice. He's knocked down to the ice. There's a penalty upcoming to Princeton. They get a touch on the puck. Steinman not even able to leave the crease. That was called quickly. And Ben Duran's going to draw a penalty. And heading off the ice is Ian Devlin. The Memphis, Tennessee native, and Bowling Green will go on yet another power play at a prime position with 3:20 left to play in the third and a tie game.
And just knocked quickly by Princeton to be able to stop that one. But David Ma going to be going to the box. That number 4, a senior that you do not want to see get out of play. Just a deal breaker when it comes to Bowling Green, trying to get the rush on things there. And overall, going to have to force to play the box. Now going to be forced also for Princeton. Going to be a rough turn of events as they will only have 2 to support in front of Moore. Both Bowling Green defensemen lined up right on the line.
It is David Ma, not Delvin. Good call, Daniel, and that's 2 very good defensemen, and even one of them off the ice is brutal for a penalty kill of Princeton, which has struggled so far this season, just 75% coming into the match today. Playing without a stick is one of the defenders for Princeton in their box. Back up to the blue line, Norris with the shot in. Oh, just scooted wide of the right crossbar. Or the right sideline. Quick shot in. Emerson, he scores! The power play goal for the senior. Tilts the ice toward the Falcons. 4-3 off the stick of Quinn Emerson.
Let's go, Ben. A huge turnaround for Emerson. And you know what? You got to talk about karma there. Earlier in the game, Brett Foe's stick gets knocked out of his hand. We see the same exact thing go against Princeton. That's what they're arguing about right now. But also, too, just taken right out of the play on a roughing call. We saw a Bowling Green forward right in front of the net just get tackled. So no play on that. Coach Williams not too thrilled with that, and neither was Princeton thrilled about the stick going out of the hand. The same thing happened to Foe though earlier. Going to be good karma. Bowling Green goes up 4-3 with 2:52 left in the third period.
A wicked shot against Dan Moore. I don't blame any goaltender for not making that save. Just redirected from the corner into the slot area, and a prime opportunity for Emerson, and he capitalized on it. That's his 4th goal this season, is Quinn Emerson. A very impressive forward so far, assisted by Minville and Norris on that power play for Bowling Green. Back-to-back goals for the Falcons have been scored on the power play, and they're now 2 for 4 on the game. An impressive power play performance from a team coming in today with a 23% power play conversion rate. There's an icing against the Falcons, so it'll come back down the other way.
Well, the icing will go as, you just mentioned, but, a little bit of positivity as well for Princeton after that power play goal. You get David Ma back as it was just a minor penalty, but nonetheless going to be forced to go back here as it looks like Princeton's taking their sweet time to get down there. And we'll keep this one going. Krodiak, Duran, and Why Not going out, as we'll see it here, and then Ryman, Emerson, and McKinley. So there are 6 players out for Bowling Green as the whistle is blown, and I think we'll have a timeout coming. It's going to be Princeton to use their only timeout of the game right now with 2:18 left in the third period.
They are at a situation where the goaltender has to be looking over toward the bench. It's 1 goal, so probably within the next 40 seconds or so, you would expect more to be heading over to the bench, and a good opportunity for the Falcons to recenter their defense and see the matchups that they want. And you see them right there, head coach Dennis Williams figuring out where the face-off dot's going to be to figure out placement of his defenders. This will be a big kill for the Falcons, trying to gain their 7th win of the season. They're currently 6-4-3 and 5-2-3 in CCHA play. Won't affect the conference record, but the overall record can just get better, and a Falcon team that still strives to surpass that received votes marked and hopefully get ranked at some point this season if they can get high enough in the standings.
Exactly, and that would be awesome and a great turn of events. Haven't really been ranked since the Chris Bergeron days that we saw back in the WCHA, but nonetheless, once you have it down here, you got to be looking at that clock if you're Princeton. You know you're going to want to pull more, and you're going to keep it going along now. They're going to be on the circle in the defensive territory right near us, keeping the same momentum as they'll have 3 in front of Steinman. No defenseman in the corner to take the draw.
And no more in net, so 6 skaters for Princeton, who's trying to score on the man advantage. Ryman knocks it down. Ben Duran, the pass a bit long for him. He pushes it into the corner against fellow 23 Kai Greaves, who gets the puck back to Princeton. That could have been a quick icing play there by the Falcons, almost right off the draw before Princeton could even set up a play. Turn back over. Quinn Emerson with the puck down at the goal line. Tries to backhand it in toward the goal. That's empty right now. Back into Emerson. Emerson backhands it again. Blocked by Greaves. It's behind the goal with no goaltender in. And Greaves is standing in the crease there for a second defending it. Now back to Princeton as Bowling Green gets a couple of guys off the ice and a couple more back on. Forced down into the corner off the back of the cage. Karodiak rinks it back down. Here's Ryman. He'll have a try. Now back out to Brody Waters. Waters will be the first to the puck from the right wing. Fires it toward the net. Off the side of the net goes Waters. Puck still in play with 1:20 left to play in the third period. Bowling Green sporting a 4-3 lead. 2 big opportunities for Bowling Green. Zlinka kicks this one. Offsides are the Falcons, so Princeton will get a touch even though Bowling Green had possession. Here's David Ma, who took the penalty that gave Bowling Green the power play that they scored on just a minute ago. That was Quinn Emerson's power play goal. To the top slot, Rubin with a shot, and it's fired wide. Here's Esmond down at the goal line with Green and Jacobs. Out to the left wing, the defenseman, David Ma, back up to the blue line, Tyler Rubin. Rubin to the right wing, Esmond with the shot over the head of Steinman in net. 40 seconds left to go in the third period. 4-3. Tipped in tight with Steinman, and he's able to hold on and make the save.
Great save there by Steinman as the Bowling Green defense will stand strong for their goaltender to protect him. But, 2 things I'm noticing, Ben. Not only are the passes not quite in connecting, this puck is bouncing a lot more than it has been previously. And with the extra guy on the ice for Princeton, the play is getting bunched up a lot more, especially in front of Steinman as they're trying to connect on this one. And, a lot more pinching, a lot more just bunching up. Not many guys are spread out. It's just going all in one spot.
Big killers out for the Falcons as well. It's Grant, Emerson, and Ryman, along with Crampton and Ivan Karodiak. Here's David Ma. His puck is swept into the corner. He regains control. Back down to the goal line. 30 seconds left to play. Bowling Green's Braden Crampton pins the puck up against the boards behind the goal line. Puck out free. David Jacobs out to Ruben. Ruben moves it over into the right wing. Slap shot tipped up into the screen. Bounces back down into play. It, believe, hit the net. Willie thought it hit the net as well, but he's telling his guys to go gather the puck. David Jacobs back into his own zone. Odd play there. Deep pass up. 5 seconds left to play. Horn about a... There it is. Braden Crampton pins up the puck, pins up the game, and a 4-3 victory for Bowling Green on 2 straight power play goals to give them a 4-3 lead and a win. That's back-to-back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena.
Just like a classic movie, that had a great ending and able to pin the puck up. A little confusing as you thought it hit the net and Steinman goes down. No call there at all, but nonetheless, the puck bounces, the men bunch up, but none at all going to go into the net for Princeton as they had the extra attacker. Bowling Green to take the series, going to have a great sweep, 4-3 the final, as they'll have 16 shots on goal to Princeton's 22.
Even play for quite a while through the majority of the match, and just in the final couple of minutes, within the last 3 minutes of the game, Quinn Emerson on his power play slap shot, the game winner, and gives Bowling Green their 7th win of the season. Now the Falcons up to 7-4-3 overall. Princeton down to 5-4 overall with a losing road trip here in the Slater Family Ice Arena. We'll unpack it in just a few minutes along with our Bill and Karen Hofford stars of the game. You're listening to Falcon Hockey on WBGU 88.1 FM.
This is Phil Beskid, BGSU Radio Faculty Advisor. You can catch all the Falcon Media Sports Network broadcasts on our 2 stations, WBGU 88.1 FM and Falcon Radio, which can both be found on bgfalconmedia.com. Ziggy.
For the second straight year, Falcon Media Sports Network is partnering with WBGU PBS to broadcast Falcon men's and women's soccer matches. Tune into WBGU PBS YouTube's live streams to hear Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, and other Falcon Media Sports Network talent on the call.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
What if you were wearing something sexy? What if you were drinking? What if you made the first move? No matter what, sexual assault is never your fault. Support is available 24/7 through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Call 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAINN.org. That's RAINN.org. This is Christina Ricci with RAINN, reminding you it's never your fault.
Brought to you by RAINN and this station.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN and head over to BGFalconmedia.com.
Miss a BGSU sports broadcast? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to listen to past calls by Falcon Media Sports Network.
Back here in the Slater Family Ice Arena for our post-game show. Ben Korak, myself, along with Dan Ridenour from the Falcon Media Sports Network. Dan, a heck of a game today, back and forth. The best game of the weekend for sure between these two sides, and Bowling Green able to edge out the Tigers and able to come away with a victory today.
So close and so well-deserved that we saw again here. I mean, just really was able to take advantage of it, though, on the Ma penalty to get the game-winning goal, so that takes it 4-3. And, you know, you only had 16 shots on net. It was just 1 in every 4 going in, though, and you really needed that momentum, and it goes for you in your favor as well. And then overall, just being able to get the 8 goals total over the weekend and taking that with your advantage. So able to get 2 good wins, especially in non-conference play.
Tonight's stars of the game presented by Bill and Karen Hoffert, longtime BGSU hockey fans and Falcon Club members. First star of the game, pretty easy decision, Dan. It was Quinn Emerson, the one of 4 players today to score a goal for the Falcons, but the power play goal and the game winner for him, his 4th goal of the season in the clutch time within the final 3 minutes. He had the game winner as our first star. Tyler Hodson as well, the game-tying goal with the Falcons down 3-2. That power play goal in the final minute of the second period. Again, the power play for Bowling Green coming up big, but his 5th goal of the season, assisted by Ryman and Crampton, earned him the 2nd star of the game. And Ben Duran, the 3rd star of the game. Honestly, a tough decision all around because not a single player for the Falcons across 10 total points scored 2 points. So it was a lot of 1 points here and there. 2 goals apiece, or 1 goal apiece from Niedermeyer and Foe combining for the first 2 goals, but Ben Duran gets the nod. He had an assist on the Brett Foe goal, also was 15 and 7 in the face-off circles, and the only player with a +2 rating on the game as a whole. So Ben Duran, our 3rd star of the game, presented by Bill and Karen Hoffert. The biggest thing today that I saw, Dan, that power play. 2 for 4 for the Falcons, came up big with the game tying and the game-winning goal. I mean, that's just what you love to see if you're head coach Dennis Williams, that mans this power play for the coaching staff.
Beautiful, beautiful power play. You're absolutely right. And just, you look at it too, and it's, it's the key moments, it's the key cornerstones that you need, like Ben Duran getting, he gets a +2 for the day, was on the ice for 2 of those goals. Then you take it a little bit more too. Hodson getting his 4 shots on net, just 1 in every 4, just connecting for the Falcons was from him. I mean, you look at that, you look at the goals, you look at the way that it's just able to follow through. A lot of that did happen, especially on the power play. And, you have to take it to your advantage. You have to try to rip open the box that, Princeton's going to try to run. And a big part of that, especially, you're putting 3 in front of Steinman, able to defend him well, and then also just going heavy on the forecheck like you have all weekend. When you go heavy on the forecheck, you can take advantage of that too, because, Princeton, that's what they're struggling on, was just starting it out and trying to go and taking their sweet time. And if you're able to forecheck heavy on that, that just completely breaks up the flow that Princeton had.
All around a well game played offensively. The goaltenders didn't get too much love today, especially both of them with 3+ goals allowed. Steinman with the better day, 19 saves, 3 goals, and an .864 save percentage. On the other side of the ice, Daniel Moore, who actually played better than what his stats show, but he only had 12 saves, 4 goals allowed for a .750 save percentage today. It felt like a lot more offense than the shots on goal tell you, Dan, with only 16 shots on goal for the Falcons, 22 for Princeton, a rare occurrence where the opponent of Bowling Green actually outshoots Bowling Green. Still Bowling Green able to come away with more goals, but not as much offense on the stat sheet as we thought there might have been in real time.
Bowling Green was really moving the puck, especially on the offense, but you look at it mainly, and it wasn't really just the shots on net showing that, because you're passing the puck. You're trying to break open what Princeton had, and that didn't go on the net every time. You'd try to break it open, you'd get close, and it just would fall a little bit short. But overall, if you're able to take it up to the defense, set the screen, we saw a goal happen early in the game for BG in that regard, so just going to be a lot to process for tonight, and you're going to get a good break over after the Black Friday Thanksgiving weekend, and going to be able to roll along after a sweep at home.
Non-conference sweep at home, their 2nd series of the season, the last full at-home series of the 2025-2026 non-conference season. They head into Northern Michigan series next week, which they will stay at home for, and the Falcon Media Sports Network will have broadcasts of both of those games, Friday and Saturday, 7:07 on Friday, and 6:07 on Saturday on WBGU 88.1 FM. The Falcon Media Sports Network will have a call of both, and a bit of an easier opponent for Bowling Green hockey next week before they close out the 2025 calendar season and head into CCHA and non-conference play in the start of 2026. So we're at the back half of the schedule. We'll go around the CCHA real quick. Minnesota State completes a 3-2 victory over Northern Michigan, who gave them a run for their money, but Minnesota State adds 3 more points to their conference standings. St. Thomas gains 3 points with a 2-1 regulation victory over Michigan Tech in Houghton. So that's a split weekend for those two CCHA teams. Kind of points went both ways throughout the weekend. And then St. Augustana, who through 2 periods was trailing to Lake State 1-0, scored 2 goals in the third period and ended up winning 2-1. So 3 points to Augustana, 3 points to St. Thomas, and 3 points to Minnesota State. All 3 of them the road teams, and all 3 of them coming away with victories today, as well as Bemidji State, who's in the second period, 3 minutes left to go in the second, tied 1-1 with North Dakota in Grand Forks at the home of North Dakota hockey. Casper Magnuson, assisted by Adam Fleming, the only goal for Bemidji State today. Again, next week, Bowling Green, Northern Michigan, a date here at 7:07 on Friday. Tune into WBGU 88.1 FM for that broadcast. Dan, it was a pleasure calling the games with you this weekend. Hopefully we get to do that going forward as well.
Thank you very much, Ben. I had the time of my life, a great, great weekend for not only us in the broadcast booth, but Bowling Green right out on the ice. Going to get 2 form and a 4-3 victory tonight for that one.
Yeah. Thank you as well to Gavin Gill back in the Cooling Center studios. They got us on the air today, and make sure to tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the Zig Zone. Falcon Media Sports Network hosts a talk show about everything going on in Bowling Green athletics, and that will happen after the Bowling Green women's basketball game. That starts at 2. Make sure to tune into the pregame show at 1:45 p.m. tomorrow for Bowling Green women's basketball and their home opener tomorrow at 1:45 p.m. Until then, we'll say good night and so long here from WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for Falcon hockey.